Hey, welcome to Sense, everybody. This is the Dollar Views After Show. We talk news, whether that be movies, tech, TV, VR, video games every once in a while. You can find all of our content at dollarviews.net. We're on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, you name it. We're trying to be there. Working on getting YouTube synced up to actual episodes. This one should be going up tonight. Um, Before we get into the news, I want to just announce a couple things. We usually just jump into things. First off, I totally left House of Cards season 4 off of our Dollar Views episode yesterday.
That's your soft open?
It was really
Just by
forgettable.
starting and saying, hey, I forgot to mention this bit in our other show, so I'm going to throw it in here.
No, I got a couple more things here, but yeah,
That's the soft
it
open that you
was
hyped me
it's
up for?
I did not hype you at all.
A
It's
little
better
bit.
than the third season because season 3 sucked. But this isn't much better. A couple of cool things. Season 5, maybe it'll be good, but then again, Bill Willimon's on the show anymore. Anyway, more important, way cooler. My friend Charlene, she has a band, Nanin Kula, and she just put out her first debut album, put it with mine. It's on iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify, Bandcamp. Like, it's a real thing. If you download the thing, you can get a 23-page digital booklet. It's amazing. She's been working on this for over a decade. Really interesting concept. You really got to see this booklet. Give it a listen. Really good friend. That's Nahnenenkula. I'll be tweeting that out too. Really interesting. If you're into like Bjork or Annie DeFranco, Grimes, it's really experimental, really cool, trippy music. Really great headphones or driving on like a sunny day. I've seen her live a lot of times. I wish her nothing but success on this. Download for free, like I said, or you can stream it, pay for it, whatever. Just give her a shout out if you do. I'm sure she'd love it. And then before we get into the news right now, we're just going to do a little pimping here.
Hmm.
We just put out 10 Cloverfield Lane on Saturday. You should check that out. I think it's one of our good episodes. I listened to it earlier. On top of that, just a sneak preview for what's to come. This coming Wednesday, we're going to have the Daredevil director's cut as a lead up to the second season on Netflix. I've never seen it.
Specifically the director's cut, guys. Like, I know a lot of people love to shit on that movie. Watch the director's cut. Like, we're going to talk about it. It's a great movie. But I'm going to have a very, very divisive opinion on it, I'm sure, as with the show, which you'll find out soon.
I hope so. I'm
Just a
excited.
little taste, yeah. Because that show really sucks. By the way, I'm just gonna say I'm trying to. I'll save what I have to say, but oh man, I was really disappointed. Like,
I mean, given that you almost never watch TV,
well,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
no, no, that, but like, just the little things like what people say is like, oh, the action is so good. It's up.
It is so good.
Okay, maybe like two or three scenes, yeah, but the rest of it is like it's just tight close-ups, and I can't appreciate the choreography, and there's like a bunch of fighting in
Sometime you
there,
should
like.
watch like Smallville or Arrow or any CW show for that matter and
But
see what kind of stunt work they do and then compare it to what they did on that Daredevil
yeah, but I
show
mean the
and
problem with
you
that,
understand.
it's just hyped up as like a show that's above being, what TV is, and I'm watching it, I'm just like, no, it feels like a TV show. Like, it doesn't it,
Well,
it, it
I
doesn't feel
watch
bigger than what it should be. Sure, there's maybe more production value, but it still feels very small and condensed, and that costume right at the end just fucking looks lame, man. It really does.
you're a season removed. It took you this whole time to catch up. When I saw it, when no one knew a goddamn thing about it, it was really impressive the fact that they had an old boy scene. But whatever, we'll get into
Yeah,
that on an
I don't
actual
even know if I'd
episode.
call that old boy. I mean, the setting, yeah, the
It's a
hallway maybe,
tracking
but
shot in a
it's a
hallway
I,
where he
it's a
kicks
good
people's
shot.
asses.
Yeah, and that's the best thing I could say about that. But I mean, how many shots are there like that? There's only two that are like that in the actual show. Then there's one
So,
cool, somewhat cool fight with Nobu, and then the rest of the fucking action scenes. It's just okay. It's handheld. There's tight close-ups. How can I appreciate the choreography there? I mean,
like I said,
and they
you
take
don't
them down
watch
just easily.
TV. I think in your mind you heard a lot of people blow it, and you're like, "Oh, this is gonna be the best thing ever," and
I'm
you
just
weren't
saying,
impressed.
I was
Seriously, even
two moments, like people hyped it up to be this one thing, which was only reflective for two moments of the actual show as opposed to the entire show.
like I said,
Like,
that's their fault. I don't think that's the fault of the show. But if you want to compare it to anything
there's
else
other
on
things. There are
network
other
TV,
things.
you're free to welcome Agents of Shield or something along those lines because that action's god awful
Yeah,
and really cheesy.
that's exactly what I
Um,
would compare it to. It's kind of like, I've seen like the first few episodes of Agents of Shield. That's kind of what, not the entirety. There are a few inspired moments that creep up here and then that I actually like, but yeah, just I was mostly disappointed, especially like, I mean, my reaction to the very last episode, which I was really digging up to a certain point, but then when it gets to the end, I'm just thinking, this is the guy that's doing Pacific Rim 2?
don't care.
Fuck.
Moving on.
All right. Well,
You got your 2 cents. This is a new show, not
yeah,
shit of the
I
past.
know it's just it's been on my mind for like the past few hours since I finished it. I'm just kind of like, man, I'm mad that I have to like the movie more than this, but we'll
Okay,
get to that.
guess we will. And then the week after that, we on Wednesday next, right before Good Friday, we're going to be putting out Passion of the Christ. David Humko is going to be joining us
That
just
should
in
be
time for
fun.
Easter. What?
That should be fun. I'm looking forward to that. Like I really I think that'll be a fun discussion actually if the movie is what I remember it to be.
Well, I've never seen it, so I'll find
That
out.
should be yeah. I don't know how closely you are tied to faith or that's going to be an interesting discussion, I feel like.
Yeah. So to start the show, probably the coolest thing, not cool because that's diminutive. One of the more interesting things that happened in Hollywood this week was a couple of days ago when Andy Wachowski transitioned into Lily, joining his former brother Lana as the new Wachowski siblings. I guess it's more a starship now than anything was, or a trans ship. Uh, pardon the pun. This is strange. Like, what are the chances that two brothers would transition?
Honestly, like yeah, it is sure it's weird like it's as in the fact that no one would have thought it. I mean, but at this point, honestly,
I don't know
my biggest
about that. We don't
reaction.
know them and their personal lives.
Yeah, no,
So,
like, but no one would
and
think.
I did see.
That is
No, I
one thing
saw.
that yeah people keep saying is like who would have thought the brothers that made the Matrix movies would end up transitioning? But like, I
Well, they're
don't know.
not a one-trick pony. I did an episode on Bound earlier this year, and it's pretty apparent by that subject matter, which is a lesbianic
Mhm.
crime thriller, that there's something else there.
Yeah, you could. I guess you could find things and point to that and be like, "Oh, it makes sense all along." But I don't fucking know either of them. I'm not going to pretend to. I mean, my big reaction, like right when I saw the headline, was like, "Okay, but I don't care." I mean, the big thing for me was just the tragedy of it, of how a reporter went up to Lily's house and just said like, "Hey, I know about this. I'm gonna post it. What do you have to say?" And then the long piece that was written about that, I'm just kind of like, well, it's good that people came out supportive ultimately on that. I'm sure there's some haters on the internet, but yeah, that's the real tragedy behind that story. But yeah, in general, like I don't know, like I said, stuff like this, like I don't care. Do what you want, Jesus. Like I think it sucks that it's still news at this point, but because I mean, just the fact that it is means that people still are not getting very accepting of this or moving on to it. It's still a fairly new thing. It's still a breakthrough thing whenever someone does this. You know what I mean?
I don't think that's what it is. I think it's more so just this is a public figure. We're in
Mm-hmm.
a time where I think more people are not embarrassed or like or upset about this. Just it's interesting. Like I said,
I
it's
guess. I mean,
more interesting
it
because
doesn't.
both brothers have transitioned.
The
It's
thing
like Caitlyn
is,
Jenner. I don't think anyone gives a shit anymore.
yeah.
That was a 5 seconds of. It's like if you're already famous, can you have a 15 seconds on top of the fame you already have?
Oh, I don't
But
know. There
it
is a
was something.
reality show, isn't there, or something like that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just got a second season. Um, but yeah, this is interesting, and I'm sure not just feminist thinkers, but also film critics, and there's going to be conversation on this, and it already kind of
Sure.
started. Peter
Um.
Scretta posed this really interesting question earlier today on Twitter. Um, he was wondering, and I am too, do we now consider their previous works films of women? Can you put it on, hashtag 52 films by women, for instance? Like, are they some of the best female filmmakers out there now?
I'm gonna say no, just
It,
because that's not who they fuck what's the word I'm looking for? Who they identified themselves as
uh-huh.
publicly at the time. But I mean also, for me this doesn't change the way I look at the art. It really doesn't. I mean, because it's
I'm
not.
sure it's going to change their material going forward,
Oh
though.
yeah, no, like I mean that'll influence it, but the movies remained a reflection of who they were then and what they made then and what they identified themselves as then, publicly, even if internally, privately, they were just the same as they are now. Honestly, though, I don't think it changes the material itself. Like, yeah, if you really want to look into a film as the
I
psyche
Well, I
of its
think it was
director,
less of
then
that what he was posing, just in terms of, like I said, 52 films by women, that hashtag that is probably still going around. International Women's Day was earlier this week. Like, are those films, I mean, not saying, oh, like it was made by a woman, but rather it's in their oeuvre now. It's part of who they are.
I don't know.
And
It might be
it's
categorized
like
more as
it's
trans women
retcons.
or something. Like I feel like it's not that interesting of a topic because ultimately, honestly, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't change the movie. I mean, it's ultimately a movie. What you're going to take with you is what the characters are in the story, what's going on in the story. Like, yes, you can project, the stuff that's coming from the filmmaker if you know about it or try to figure that out. But I mean, ultimately, I just don't think it matters or changes the film in any way whatsoever. The film is still the film when all is said and done.
I think you should see Bound anyway.
Yeah,
But
I
moving
want to.
from two sisters to two brothers, the Russo brothers are making more moves here. They just opened a Chinese language studio named Anthem and Song. It's partnered with a distributor already in China, and they have 200, 300 million in funding. Uh, they don't have plans currently to direct for the studio themselves. Just produce and develop projects for people. And it's gonna like a talent pool and try to make something happen. And this is kind of in reaction to Captain America: Winter Soldier making over 100 million of its 700 million domestic international gross in China alone. Um, this is cool. I mean they already have uh, it seems, a cinematic style that works internationally. It's action oriented, very flashy, very fun, and it seems like that's what Chinese cinema is so far. I think it's a good fit.
Well, more than that, just what does this mean for just productions in the future? I mean, like, having them involved, I'm sure is going to tie more American movie stars that are internationally known to Chinese funded projects. Like, there's going to be definitely,
Snowpiercer, stuff like that.
yeah. Well, now that's Korean, and
Is it Bong
yeah,
Joon-ho?
yeah, yeah, South Korea. And although I don't know, I think there might be more investors in there too. Like, I don't know, I think there
I'm
might be
pretty
some
sure China
French
was involved.
investors.
Yeah,
I
there's some French
think I
investors. Yeah.
think they shot in the Czech Republic, or I can't remember where it was. And it wasn't that was picked up by the Weinstein's, right? I don't think it was financed by them when it was in
Yeah, they
production.
just put it out. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm sure they went through a lot to get that movie made because the sets. I mean, just building that movie in and of itself is just it's insane. Like the CGI may be somewhat obvious, but what they get in there practically is fucking crazy. What were we talking about? Okay, yeah, Russo brothers.
China. This topic comes up every week. Chinese are always doing something new on our show. And I did some research. I found that, how Legendary Entertainment has been bought by a Chinese investment group,
Hmm.
and that Wanda owns AMC Theaters, which
Yeah,
just became the biggest chain in the world. That's the same conglomerate, Dial and Wanda. So they own AMC Theaters and Carmack Cinema. They own Legendary Entertainment, and then they also make buildings and have money all over the place. One of the more lucrative businesses in the world.
yeah, but I
I
mean,
just
here's
never put together or found out, rather, that that was one in the same. Like, can you imagine Legendary movies being distributed only at AMC theaters?
no, that would be weird. I don't think that makes no sense to have. They'd probably get a bigger
It
push
makes
from them.
sense.
Yeah, but no, because then you're
Think
going
about it.
then
They
you're
have
going
a.
back to the old studio days of, hey, we own our own theaters and we're just gonna put out
It's
our
no
own
different
stuff.
than what
Then
Netflix does.
but it's not a theater, Like when Beast of No Nation went in theaters, there were several chains that played that. It's not, I mean, it's the same thing. Like
Maybe seven theaters. I don't know. That may
no, it
change.
was 30. I guess maybe. God, I don't know if Chirac was exclusively AMC, but they definitely had a deal with them to put that out there, and also I'm sure they worked with other chains on that deal, and they probably just didn't accept. But you know what? Yeah, just going back to this. I mean, what's really interesting is that this isn't like a business thing. This isn't studios getting together with China. These are filmmakers that are doing this. Like, this is a direct creative collaboration with China. Like, that's the big thing about this step. It's not just business and getting stuff distributed out there. It's creating content with filmmakers from Hollywood. Like, that's insane.
Not the first time it's happened, but definitely big
No, I mean
names here.
that's a big thing though. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
this is probably gonna
it's
happen
in
more
the
and more.
headlines,
I mean, just creatively, yeah, we are getting closer and closer to being more collaborative. China and
but
Hollywood. That's really,
just a true international cinema. Because when they
yeah.
use that term now, it's a ensemble from all over the world, or it's the day and date everywhere, or there's a Chinese actor just one, or something along those lines. It could get to a point, and this isn't harping on Oscar so white, but it's going to get to a point where it's not going to be, oh, there's not enough black people. It's going to be there aren't enough every people, and then it's just become, a true representation of the world, or at least whatever world it's taking place in. Because if you're doing a New York story on the Upper East Side, a Woody Allen movie, it makes sense that all the people are white. But whereas if you're doing a Transformers or fuck a Marvel movie, even the racial makeup of the cast makes less and less sense.
Yeah. It really does depend on the material. I don't know. Like for Woody Allen movie,
It's fun.
is Upper East Side, is that becoming more diverse? Maybe I don't know.
No,
Shit.
that's where the money is.
Yeah.
So if
What are
you're
you trying to
not,
say there?
I'm saying if you have money in New York, you have the nice places, and then you're never going to let go of it. Real
Meaning you're
estate's
white,
everything on
right?
that island. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that's
I'm trying to make a bad joke here against you. Just drop
gotta
it.
try harder. I've actually stayed on the Upper East Side,
I've
so.
never been to New York yet. That might change this year, but we'll see.
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
China back to America. Kevin Spacey. That big thing, that big surprise about 2 months ago now that he was going to be Relativity's chairman coming out of bankruptcy. Well, turns out that's not the case. He backed out this weekend. There was a bankruptcy hearing where he decided that it would just be way too much. Didn't understand the kind of stress and work involved. And like he's going to be on set for 200 days filming the fifth season of House of Cards. So that on top of whatever other commitments he has, he's a really busy man.
I was hoping
He's
you'd
already
just say you
gray.
got
I
to
want to
go
go
for
bald.
president.
What?
I'm making a bad House of Cards season 4 joke. Don't worry about it.
No, no, I caught the joke, but you kind of just ruined half the season.
Well then I'll cut that out.
Yeah, it's way too soon, but okay.
All right, yeah, no, I threw you off.
So
That's
yeah,
my bad.
what's happening now? It's going to be Ryan Kavanaugh and Spacey's partner Dana Brunetti. They're going to be working hand in hand to figure out where the studio is going to be going now. I'm sure Kevin Spacey is still going to be involved in some capacity, maybe as an advisor or just doing more gigs for the studio. It's like the king that could have been, or the dream, I guess.
Yeah, but
It would have been cool.
he's still though hooked up with the right people, and I mean, yeah, like you said, he'll probably oversee or consult on some stuff. He just won't be the king.
I mean, people that aren't kings, though, or at least princes, Paramount, they were supposed to be distributing The Little Prince this week nationally.
You really
They
struggled with
decided
that
today
segue,
that
huh?
oh, I'm tired.
No, I just it was funny listening to you trying to figure it out. But yeah, sorry, go ahead. Little Prince, Paramount, they pulled it out a week right before it's supposed to come out.
Yeah.
Go.
So it's supposed to come out next week, and they decided not to do that. It's really strange. This came out really early, or not early, but like 7 months ago in France. I know you, if I'm wrong, you saw it when you were
Yeah.
over in Switzerland, right?
Yeah, and it was already on home video there. Like
Yeah.
I honestly thought about ordering the Blu-ray because it is region free, and I could have it right now if I wanted, honestly.
Yeah, you can buy it on Amazon.
Yeah.
It's really bizarre. This has already won awards internationally,
Yeah, no, it
and
premiered
yet it's getting
like it premiered in Cannes a
2 years
year
ago.
yeah, a year ago now. I mean, it's
So
insane. The trailer in the US here, it's been out for like almost over a year. Like I don't understand why this movie's being so badly marketed here because it has a good trailer that's getting positive reactions out of people. Like I've seen people on Facebook post this trailer and go like, "Oh, the feels." It really does work for that. Like so, this should be getting a bigger push. I feel like it could do really well here, but yeah, it's only got 80 million abroad so far.
it's early days. The director went to Twitter. He said that a different distribution company is picking it up. Nothing's been announced yet, no names, but it's going to be put out later in the year. So that could be good. It might get an Oscar push. Maybe after this, it's going to be like the animated Mad
I
Max,
don't.
the one that took forever or something like
It's
that.
kind of no, it's a bit too late for I think an Oscar push because it technically came out last year. Like this would have been the year for it to be nominated.
That's
And
not how it works, though. I
I,
mean, it's the calendar year when it's distributed in the United States. This wouldn't be in the foreign film category because it's animated.
so it qualifies like that just for animated films.
Yeah, look, well, not
And
not
like
just
because I was
animated.
expecting it to
Like
get a
Crash
nomination
was
last year, but or
Crash
for this year.
premiered at festival season in 2004, but it wasn't domestic until 2005. The same is true for a couple other things that aren't coming to mind. It's whenever it's in the United States and it has a wide release. It's not the HFPA. It's just the U.S. that matters and our domestic market.
All right, yeah, I was thinking more along the lines of how foreign films are released because they do get nominated first, and then that's how people hear about them, and then they go see it in theaters that way. That's just how I assumed it went, but I
No,
guess
I'm
not.
just.
Yeah.
I mean, if it gets its release, like you said, the director said later in the year, he said quarter 3 or something. So if it comes out in July or August, which is right around the same time that Shaun the Sheep came out, it could potentially be one of those films. But then again, this is a tough year with Finding Dory, and I think The Croods 2 is coming out, and
I
Kung
think
Fu Panda 3 already
that's
was in
yeah, next
theaters.
year. This could, yeah, and Zootopia also. But I mean,
Yeah,
no, like this had a good trailer behind it that got reactions every time that people have seen it, like at least positive ones in the theater when I've been there. It got, it's weird because this also got played like in art house theaters a lot. That trailer, weirdest place to put it. Like, yeah, it was right before Anomalisa or Anomalisa. Sorry, that's the proper way to pronounce that.
that makes sense to me. They're both stop
Yeah,
animation,
yeah,
so
yeah. No, no, and it was Paramount too. But I mean, yeah, it was also like other weird stuff like before Room, before fucking It Man 3. But yeah, I just don't know why this is being marketed so poorly and treated so poorly. Like, I mean, people may not react that positively to the film when all is said and done, because I do think it might be a little bit of a mess creatively, since I've seen it already, and like a bit more of a story mess than Good Dinosaur, honestly. But this movie is much more ambitious at the same time, and I know that from a marketing perspective, like they can at least sell it to an American audience and make a ton of money off of it. Like there is, I just don't see why it's getting the shaft.
my guess would have to be, Paramount. They've been struggling for the last couple of years, looking for anything. They just had a hit. 10 Cloverfield Lane
Hmm.
made, upwards of 25 million. And so maybe they're going, we're going to take a loss on this movie. We didn't market it. No one knows what the fuck it is. No one's going to go see it. It's still going to be in theaters.
Yeah.
It's going to be opening against, Daredevil's going to be on TV, whatever. Like they're probably just going, let's not write this off. Like Disney just had they're writing off The Finest Hours for 75 million.
Yeah.
So,
I wonder how they're going to be doing.
yeah,
Yeah,
right.
right. It's not like they had the biggest movie
It's
ever come out
it's
last
not
year or
like they
anything.
made that much money in just Star Wars
Yeah,
memorabilia
right.
in the last 5 minutes.
Or Marvel. Yeah.
Yeah. But talking about international markets, Sony's doing something cool. They're gonna help the Criterion Collection finally come to the UK. I did not know until I read this press release that they weren't
No,
available over there
it's
in the
only
United
North
Kingdom.
America. Yeah.
Yeah, so Sony's gonna be helping with the international rights. It's gonna start with 5 movies. I can't remember what they are right now. Recent ones though in the collection,
Are they
and who
doing new
knows?
spy numbers?
I have no clue. I'm not a Criterion nerd.
Hmm.
I was talking to someone on Tinder a couple of days ago though, who apparently collects laser discs, and I asked her, I was like, "Do you have any Criterion?" I think it went right over her head. She didn't know what I was talking about. She's like, "Oh, I got some horror movies or whatever," so I'll check that out. Like, if she has a Armageddon laser disc, I'll be sure to take a picture for
There
you.
is a Criterion Laserdisc, I think, for that.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure the Chasing Amy is also Criterion.
Honestly, you said that she has more horror stuff, right?
Well, I don't know exactly what she has. It wasn't a deep thing. I was drunk and I was bored,
Hey, if
and
she can
it was
appreciate
weird.
Michael Bay, she's a keeper.
I'm sure.
If she can appreciate, not if she's the type of girl in a Michael Bay movie.
Is there a difference? Aren't those the girls that appreciate Michael Bay? Like
Well,
when I think of female Michael Bay fans, I totally picture Megan Fox. So
I don't know. I'd probably go for more the Liv Tyler type of girl in Armageddon. The kind that's both
there's
hot and
no
smart
there's no
at the same
fucking way
time.
that a girl like that would like Michael Bay movies. She'd be into like Michel Gondry.
I don't know. Anyone that's got diverse tastes is worth and has respect for other stuff.
Well, if you like other stuff, including VR, I just got to put a reminder out there because I'm going to be talking about it next week on Two Cents. The Game Developers Conference is going to be taking place this coming week. Sony's going to be there. Tuesday at 2 p.m. Pacific is when they're doing their PlayStation VR announcement conference. Really excited. There's news that broke out that they're already working on an exclusive AAA game from the developers at Bungie and Sucker Punch. They've made a new studio. It's called Gollum. As far as I know, this is the first, true long game that has been not leaked, but info's come out for. It's usually just little experiences or tech demos or something. So this is proof that it might have in the near future a killer app on PlayStation. That's really cool.
Nice.
Definitely be doing a pre-order,
I know, yeah, I know, and
you know,
I'm
a couple
still
days.
supposed to catch up. I'm
I'm
supposed to
gonna
get a new
be.
phone at some point and finally get a Google Cardboard or
I
something,
mean,
but
Google Cardboard is like training wheels VR though.
I
So
know I'm way behind. Like, it's I'm gonna
way
be like, you're gonna have this going, and then like 6 months from now, I'm gonna be like, I got a cardboard, Brian. Oh, that was probably, yeah. I'm like that guy that's always late, behind the. God, what I'm trying to think of a specific reference right now. You know the joke I'm making, yeah, but fuck, like what is, God, what is it that they do that?
I mean, they can just play back the episode and go to you talking about Daredevil like 7 months too
Oh
late.
yeah, which is not a good show. Not as good as it should be. I'm still gonna watch season 2, but man, it really was a chore. Really was a chore. If you want to hear me praise the movie that's really hated and also while talking down on this show that is so loved, send me so much hate mail. I would love it. I'm not doing this on purpose, too. I genuinely feel that the show is not good and that the movie is great. So give a listen to that.
Bear in mind that this is the same guy that really liked Fantastic Four
Not
by
not
Josh
really
Trank.
okay, not really liked, but
You really liked it.
gave it a
You
halfway
liked it
decent
more
review.
than anyone else
I
on the
I
internet. Put
pitied
it that
it.
way.
I pitied it. I felt so
No.
bad for it that I just refused to step on its head over and over and over again. I tried to be nice to it. I tried to give it a ride to the emergency room. I tried.
See,
I
you were
tried.
nice to Pixels, okay? We agreed that that was a shitty Adam Sandler movie, but it had its merits
But
and
that
it wasn't a
okay,
bad movie. And we agreed on that was just a level of bad that it was kind of enjoyable. No one would say that about Fantastic Four but you. And correct me if I'm wrong,
because there was
but
so
didn't it
much.
almost make your like an honorable mention list for the best of 2015?
No, 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 not best. I never put this list together, but I did it for 2014. For
Guilty pleasures.
no, yeah, just for critically panned movies that I actually liked. I think I probably would have put it on there just because I can't think of. I don't know many. Tomorrowland is probably the top one in that regard. I don't know. Like, are there any like 4-star movies that were really hated that I enjoyed a lot more last year? I don't know. But I did not make that list anyway. But yeah, no, I found things about the movie that I actually liked. I don't think it worked. I think knowing that, seeing that tweet and just hearing all the shit about it, like before going into the screening, like that did color my expectations in a way where, I knew I was going to see something that probably wasn't good. And so that
See, look, you
when that,
can't stop talking about how much he likes it.
no, no, no. But I mean, it's like, no matter what, expectations do have some sort of effect. Like if I didn't see any reviews, I probably would have been more surprised by how bad it was and probably more angry. This is like I went in kind of prepared for that, so I
Well, I did
tried. I
Thursday
tried to,
midnight,
yeah.
so
I
I
did.
knew
I did a
nothing.
midnight too, so I tried to be more optimistic about it when I was watching and go like, no, 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 no. See, there's one good thing right there. There's one thing that works, right? I mean, yeah, them getting drunk and just going through interdimensional travel and deciding it'll
We
work.
got a whole
That's pretty
episode on
funny.
this.
Yeah.
They can listen to it. They probably won't because no one in the right mind would watch this movie and knowing the shit show it is.
Well, you can watch it
Um,
in Ultra HD 4K now. That might be the only
ooh,
reason to rewatch it.
make it
It's
even
not like
worse.
you have better options out there for that.
Amazon's trying to come up with better options talking about that. They just announced that they're going to be start doing a more traditional 90-day later rule for the theatrical releases coming to Prime. They're looking to appease theaters and also generate more attention for their releases. I mean, Chirac was the first sign of this. Macbeth was really limited. Something else came out recently or is about to that's going to get a small release. And
Is it the
so they
Woody
think
Allen
that
flick?
well, who knows when that's coming out? But this is definitely going to be one of those. Uh, it there's not real. It's not really clear if this is going to be for every theatrical release they do or just for selected ones. Like I said, if they had another Oscar tender, for instance, was it the Manchester Man in the Sea? Not Man in the Sea. Whatever the one with Casey Affleck is,
Yeah.
they paid $10 million for. This is going to for sure get the 90-day treatment. Just make it a sure bet for award contenders. Um, but I don't know. A lot of interesting stuff has happened this week in terms of theatrical releases. Earlier, we're conjecture about AMC only getting Legendary Pictures. This is kind of in the same way. Sean Parker, you may know the name of, Napster, or better yet, just if you've seen the social network and you like Justin Timberlake, the guy that helped make Facebook. You know what's cool? $1 billion. He's shopping the startup around town called the Screening Room. And their premise is that they're looking to rent new features day and date in the home. They want to be the exclusive carrier for not distributors, but studios, and they have this anti-piracy box that they're toting is, going to be the next thing better than sliced bread. It costs $150 for the box, and individual rentals are $50, which gives you access. You have 48 hours to watch it, and then only the one time. But there's like perks here. There's incentives where renters may get, two tickets to the movie they saw, so that way distributors can still get their concession money from viewers, or that, just kind of it would make sense for a super fan. Sources say that AMC has already signed on with a letter of intent to be a partner. So it comes full circle. China trying new things.
I mean, this is Sean Parker just doing what he did to the music industry, meaning by that ruining it and trying to bring that to movies.
Well,
No,
that's
no,
the
okay,
thing,
okay,
though.
yeah, no, I'm kind of joking when I say that. Yeah, this is not at all outside the realm of the plausibility that this is happening. I mean, a lot of theaters are being retrofitted to have like bigger, nicer, more reclined seats. They're serving food and
Hmm.
wine. They're trying to replicate that movie, the home
Y-
theater experience
Yeah,
in a
the home
way,
theater.
bringing you a couch. I mean, so yeah, the traditional experience is pretty much dying. Like at this point, that's a sure thing. I mean, unless
Well,
smaller theaters keep that, but I think yeah, they're going a lot more for that comfort, more home like environment, and that's kind of working in sync with this. Which yeah, I mean, it's bound to happen. This is probably over time. This might get more accepted, although I don't, I see that it's convenient for people. Like the big example that was being used in the articles I read was, would you pay $50 to watch Batman versus Superman at home? And yeah, if you get like a
well,
pool
I
of
don't think
people and
that's what it
everybody
is,
pitches
though.
in though, like then yeah, that could happen. That's going to be more
Uh,
convenient for a lot of people, and convenience is what, if that option is open, then people will go for whatever's most convenient.
well, I mean, several filmmakers have already come out and expressed their support for this, including J.J. Abrams, Steven Spielberg, Ron Howard,
Really?
Brian Glazer, Peter Jackson, and Peter Jackson even went on to say that he feels that this complements the theatrical model, since people that don't currently go to the cinema are the most likely to adopt this technology. As I think your analogy for Batman Superman doesn't work. I mean,
Well,
that
that's what I've
movie
been
and
reading.
movies like that, they go to the theater, they want to see it. Like, they're not stupid. They know the bigger and better it is, the better it looks on the big
Well, yeah, but
screen.
you just
And
listed a bunch
so,
of high-profile filmmakers that make movies that work better for the big screen, and they're saying, "Yes, this is good."
yeah, like I said, for the people, think about old people or people that are in wheelchairs, or like maybe someone with Down syndrome,
Hmm.
like that wouldn't work in a movie theater environment, and now they can. Like, say you're bedridden, say you're in like doing leukemia, like you're trapped in the hospital or something,
Okay.
and I really
Yeah, no,
love
no, okay.
Lord
There,
of the
there are
Rings.
there
I
are
can see the new
absolutely
Hobbit
there's
now.
absolutely situations. Yeah, it's just I guess I don't know. My thing is I feel like, and I'm kind of bringing something else into it, but like as if people at the movie theater were not annoying enough already, where they're behaving the same way that they do in their living room. It's just that line is becoming more and more blurred, and that's kind of what I hate about it. But I mean, that's it's not like I'm bagging on this. It's just me kind of complaining for my own personal reasons of things that I know I'm gonna find annoying over time.
Well, I
But
think this is if this price happens, and it
it
probably
probably
isn't.
will. Well,
Well,
maybe not this way, but like this is definitely a step, and I doubt that this
yeah,
idea is
like
going to die. Like Sean
we've
Parker's going to keep pursuing this.
not even that. Remember, we're talking like 2, 3 weeks ago about Comcast buying their own MGO movies so they can stream their own stuff, and HBO already has that for their Time Warner. I mean, their Warner Brothers stuff, because they still need studios on board. And so Sony and Universal are already turned off because Comcast and PlayStation are already means for distribution, and Disney seems not interested at all.
Yeah.
So I think that this could work for someone like Lionsgate. If AMC has signed a letter of intent, obviously Legendary is going to help out. I think this would be great for, little art house things,
Well,
because
this is
you would
already
feel good.
working for them. I mean, think about
Well,
Magnolia.
yeah,
They
for like
do VOD
IFC,
stuff already
VOD, yeah.
before it even hits theaters, and that's for like $8. That's usually cheaper than the price of a ticket, depending on what territory you are in. So it's already working for that.
But imagine, like I said, if these two ticket thing happens, say, because it's really not a bad deal. Say there's this art house movie, it was at Sundance, you heard everything about it. It gets picked up by like a mid major, not Magnolia.
Like
It's not
Fox
going to have the
Searchlight.
VOD release. There you go, or like Paramount Vantage, something like that. So you already have this box because you love watching movies so much. Yeah, I'll pay $50, and then you have the two tickets. The two tickets would be worth like $14 a piece. That's like a free 25.
You
Then you go,
save
fuck it, I
them
don't need
for
to
when
eat
you want to go
popcorn.
see Batman versus Superman. right?
or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, So I think it's gonna happen. I don't know if it's gonna happen now. Like I said, it really does matter what studios are attached. It makes sense for the smaller people trying to make something that don't have deals like this. Like A24 wouldn't be interested because they're already on Amazon Prime, and like you said, Magnolia is on VOD and Netflix. But yeah, for the art house stuff or for award season in particular, like this would be a hit. Maybe this could be the solution for the screener problem. All the award all the people that are voters are big time voters anyway.
We already
They just
talked
have
about
this
that though.
instead.
That's already moving to being online. I mean,
It's going to be online,
like yeah,
yeah, but you could easily do an internet rip of a video. Like yeah, you can do that for albums. If it's on the internet, you can make a copy. Whereas this box, the reason why it's being touted is because apparently it has pirate-proof technology. Like that's what's
I'm
interesting
sure
here. Not
someone will
that
bypass that. One person always figures it out.
eventually, but it's probably gonna take so long that
Or someone's going to sell that
won't be a
information
problem.
because the people that made it will know how to bypass it.
Who knows?
Actually,
I
no,
mean,
no, no, never mind. That's not how hacking works. Yeah.
not really. Well,
No.
I mean, it can.
No, like it, yeah, you to figure out a way to reverse engineer something like I don't unless you know how to take it. Well, forget it.
Okay.
Yeah, forget it. I
Uh,
like with everything on this show. I only pretend to know what I talk about. That doesn't mean I actually know what I'm talking about.
See, the trick is to look like you know what you're doing from a distance,
Yeah,
because fools can tell from when you're close up.
but they can only hear our voices. So
Well, I'm not making silly faces,
how do
but
you know
I
what faces I'm making?
probably drunk. Who
No,
knows?
I probably
But
just have a dead on serious face. I talk real fast. I don't know. And how dare
okay,
you? I'm
you
not
can
even
you can
drinking
send
right now.
a letter.
I have
Drinking something.
caffeine, but I'm not drinking.
It's a
Fuck you,
stimulant.
sir.
If
Yeah.
you drink enough coffee, you'd be drunk.
I'm drinking a Monster.
So, we're talking about the home and theater aspect change. The lines being crossed off. Netflix is already kind of doing that, but this is a great time for emerging tech to really come up. Avatar helped with 3D. They're still trying to work on 4K and everything else, HDR. And so it's timely that Ang Lee announced, or rather the studio announced, that preview footage from his upcoming film, Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk, is going to be premiered at the NAB show Future of Cinema Conference in Las Vegas. This thing is going to be shown in its intended 4K 3D 124 frames per second HDR format using a dual laser projection system. So this might just be the best looking thing you've ever seen.
You know what? I mean, sorry to derail this, but you just mentioned two words together, VR and frame rate, which I don't think I've ever combined. I had, yeah, no, okay, no, I heard, no, well, I just had this thought, like, yeah, high frame rate, because they experimented with that for The Hobbit.
Mhm.
Yeah, that sounds a lot like that makes much more sense for VR now, doesn't it?
Well, VR's already at that.
What
The
I,
the the PlayStation VR is going to be at 120 frames per second.
all right, yeah.
It takes us 60. I mean, that's the highest in the industry. Or not, wait. Yeah. Well, a lot of them are at that, but they have PSVR has the highest refresh rate at I think it's at 160. It's like astronomically high.
All right, well, I'm late to the
You
game
know,
once again.
we just got it's not this isn't stuff that you read about. That's
Yeah,
why
I
I
know.
read it to you.
It's like I think about it. Guys, I have an idea. Oh, we figured that out like 6 months ago. In fact, that's how we were working.
You saw The Hobbit in HPF, was it
HFR,
HFPS?
high frame rate.
HFR?
Yeah. No, I don't know. I was just thinking like, yeah, there is a place for higher frame rates, of course. Like, there's sports, there's news. There's a place for like frame rates in general. Yeah, but I was thinking, yeah, for VR, that's kind of a necessity. If you're trying to mimic reality, then it's got to move faster than 24 frames a second. You
I mean,
can't interact at
video
that
games
rate.
already video games at a bare minimum run at 30,
60.
and like I said, at a bare minimum at 30, and big time games, first person shooters and sports games
Yeah,
are at
it's
60,
60,
racing
yeah.
games. But it's still not the standard. Even on Xbox One, most games don't run at 60. They're running at like 55. This is going to be shown off, like I said, at Future Cinema Conference in Vegas, April 16th. It's going to be the keynote address. I can't wait to see what the press say about that. Who knows when that's coming to theaters? I hope this award season. Not sure where I would see it. I'm guessing, the TCL Chinese Theater or something along those lines. Um,
Universal City Walk,
yeah, it's a
which
little further
I
of a drive.
really I thought it was closer.
No, no way.
No, no. Well, by the way, isn't that
Uh-uh.
an AMC Prime now?
No, it's an iMac.
No, no. Like
I think they have both.
no. I mean, you know what AMC Prime is, right?
Yeah, it's their in-house. It's their Cinemark
Yeah,
XD,
doesn't that
their
apply to every
Regal
single
XPX.
auditorium, I think?
I don't
Or is
know.
that just
I've
one
never
room?
been to that theater. I
Oh.
I think it's just one room because they already have, the nicest IMAX in the state, or at least in Southern California.
Aside
And so I
from
think,
the Spectrum.
well, they don't.
That's a matter of opinion, though.
Huh?
That's a matter
I
of
thought it
opinion.
was I thought it was established. Like, I mean, for instance, they're not playing the 70 millimeter print at the Irvine Spectrum for Batman versus
No,
Superman.
it's
They're doing
that's
digital,
that's in
whereas
San Jose,
IMAX
I
at
think. Yeah,
City Walk is doing 70
they're doing
millimeter.
4K,
Are they?
2K, 2D 4K laser. I looked at it, yeah, because I think it's the same deal with Star Wars. Like you look at that list side by side,
Hmm.
because there's only like 15 70 millimeter IMAX screens in the country. Like if I want to go see Batman versus Superman, I think I got to go up to Fort Worth, and that's like a 4 hour train ride.
Well, I didn't get my IMAX ticket. I don't really care. I didn't get IMAX for Star Wars. I'm already paying a good enough money as it is.
Yeah, like
And it's,
I
to be honest, when the aspect ratio changes, it does take you out of the moment.
it really depends on how it's utilized. Like I think the first time, like when you see The
The
Dark
Dark Knight.
Knight, yeah, like
Yeah.
I mean, yes,
The bank scene.
yeah, I mean, a lot of those scenes like are continuous. Like maybe the hospital explosion scene, like it kind of cuts around a lot of it to inserts and then IMAX, then 35 inserts. But then when you get that explosion, it's like holy shit. But yeah, The Dark Knight Rises, when you have like an IMAX shot of Bruce Wayne just walking down the stairs just to open the front door, and then you cut to 35, it's kind of
It's like,
weird
what the
because
fuck
yeah,
are you
it's like
doing?
wait,
I
what?
know.
I mean, yeah, there is no consistency there, but there are. I mean, there are moments though where you do kind of just feel it. Like you
Mhm.
stop thinking about the ratio switches, and then when there's a big visceral moment happening, it still hits you in a way.
Interstellar was definitely, it was used really well just for the space travel,
Oh
or
yeah,
just looking at the sky and like that drone in the opening. Like, it made a lot more sense, and you're more forgiving because it was such a cosmic,
I would
just really
see it.
appealing image.
Yeah, I would see Batman versus Superman in IMAX. Though I mean, that might be how I go for all I know.
Like I said, I'm seeing an XD, which is a close cousin. It's gonna be my first experience with the format. I'm looking forward to it.
Is that
As
a Cinemark or a
Yeah,
Century?
it's a Cinemark with the lay down
Oh,
seats,
you're
so
going to the
I am
Pike?
looking forward to that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they redid that, didn't they?
yeah, very very recently. I mean, they've redone that whole Pike area with, outlets now, and the Grand Prix is happening in a couple of weeks. So they're looking to get a
Yeah,
lot of
I think
money
I heard
there.
Brendan talking about that on while editing last week.
Well, I don't know. Oh yeah, he did say that
Yeah,
he's gone since the redo.
yeah, which
A lot of people have, like I said, I
that was fun
for Deadpool, I
listening
try to
to.
catch it there.
That was
Oh,
fun
I
listening
bet.
to. By the way, yeah, you guys
Yeah.
just speculating. Which, by the way, yeah, you never called me like that. I thought that was weird that you were saying what I was texting to you, but you never. I never got a call from you directly.
I called you on Skype. Why would
Oh,
I call you over the phone?
yeah, no, my computer was shut. I don't know. Yeah, Skype was not hooked up to my phone at that point. I had fucking issues installing the app, you know that. But
Well, don't drink and drive, okay? And better yet, we're going to the future where you won't have to be driving at all. Despite, Google's self-driving
I don't
car
know if I
last
should
week
be offended
getting
by that
to,
segue. Jesus
it
Christ.
just, it works, okay?
But I'm not drinking.
You're drinking a Monster.
Well, it's
A
empty
Google,
now, but
well, good job, drunkie. When they're
it's an
Google
energy
self-driving cars,
drink.
it
It's not.
sideswiped a bus. You
Keep
can't sell it
going.
to
Keep
minors.
going.
It sideswiped
What?
a
Wait,
bus. It
what?
wasn't a big deal. You can't.
Yeah, what? Energy drinks?
Yeah, I think if you're under 12, you're technically not supposed to sell them to
Uh,
them.
Is that a state law? Where does
Probably in
that
certain
apply?
states.
I
It falls under the same thing of, like, it's kind of shunned upon selling, Starbucks to a minor because coffee can stunt your
Is
growth.
it really? I mean, what if you just get like a frappuccino, or some sort of drink that doesn't have a high concentration of
Uh,
caffeine? Well, whatever.
you're talking more for the drinks that are meant to appeal to kids.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how can we
They
get
sell
younger
chocolate milk
people
and
to
apple
drink?
juice.
How can we get younger people to drink caffeine? Why don't you put it in a milkshake? That would make sense.
Exactly. I mean,
Really
it's pretty
smart.
much like a smoothie. Yeah.
But anyway, the segue I was trying to make, Ford just patented this really cool in-car driverless, or like in-cab driverless car entertainment projection system. So the idea is your family's in the car, you type in your destination, it's driving there for you, and you can watch a movie on a projector, like where your windshield would be. Totally makes sense for people that are currently in minivans. It's kind of uh, an obvious next step for, remember the headrest DVD players?
Yeah, no, those are fun. Or the ones that like come off up on the roof that you just flip down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my portable DVD player can do that, in fact. But yeah, like this could be cool. I mean, obviously, we're not at a stage yet where the cars can completely drive themselves. And like I said, a Google car did get in an accident on its own accord, hit a bus. Another one like hit the back of a car or
Yeah,
whatever.
like
So it
it'll be a
happens.
while before I use this at all whatsoever. I mean, that'd be
I mean,
so scary, just enjoying a movie and then all of
if
a
I had a
sudden,
Tesla,
yeah, like just a fucking pipe goes through the windshield and then just stabs you right in the face. Like I'd be too freaked out by that.
so what you're saying is don't watch Final Destination 2 car on the
In
freeway.
3D.
It could be cool. We'll see. Like I think it'd
Dying
be
is not
perfect for
cool
something
at all.
like, say you were driving Route 66, like a very low traffic route, and you got really no danger of your robot driver having any problem. Well, not robot, but AI driver having any
Yeah,
problems.
if you're doing that, I
Um,
would hope you're enjoying the sights of Route 66 in real life instead of watching a movie. But
can watch cars. It'd be the same thing.
okay, yeah, not really. But all right.
Easy Rider,
No, no, I mean,
Vacation.
no. This'll. Hey, cars will end up being more like Minority Report. I mean, that's what, like 40 years away at this point. That seems pretty likely.
When cars are talking to each other and getting high on gasoline. The No, it wasn't gasoline. It was biodiesel.
Oh no, no, no. That's going to be in the year 3016. Don't worry about that. Yeah,
3016.
3016. Because I mean,
Okay.
that's the theory behind the Cars universe. Is that what happens? Is Skynet takes over, and then cars become self-aware. Then they build their own society. Like that's the most acceptable, most logical theory behind why cars would talk, right?
So, what does this happen before or after Wally?
Uh, After, I'd say.
Then why aren't the cars driving and all that debris
And
and
what?
all the debris on the planet
Oh
from,
no, because they fixed that at
that was
that
left
point.
over?
Well, spoilers for Wall-E, but remember the plants grow back. They fixed that. It's just humans fuck up again later on. I mean,
Okay,
that was what year was that? Like 2403 or something?
not quite
Or
sure.
I don't know, but yeah.
Something along those
Yeah,
lines.
it's all in the same universe.
Almost done with headlines here. This is going way longer than it should. Usually halfway through the show by now. But Guillermo del Toro, he tweeted a couple things. Really, well, he always tweets cool things. But there's news. He tweeted, and I quote, "I will shoot a new film in August in Toronto." And on top of that, July through November, LACMA will have an exhibit of his movie stuffs, plus 500 pieces from Bleak House. After LACMA, the exhibition is going to go to Minneapolis, Toronto, Mexico City, Barcelona, Paris, and New York. I never go to LACMA. I'm definitely going to this. I would love to see Crimson Peak and Pan's Labyrinth stuff up close.
Like I have no idea what LACMA is until you brought it
Los
up.
Angeles County Museum of Art. You're not
That
cultured, are you?
I just didn't know what the name was, but yes, in general, no, I'm not.
Okay.
In some ways, I am.
True Michael Bay fan. I'm here. I don't like museums. I like shit blowing up. How about you
Exactly.
blow up the museum?
No, just
You must you must love that museum scene from Tim Burton's first Batman movie.
oh
The
yeah.
spray
Are
paint all
you
the
kidding me?
portraits with the Prince music.
Hell yes. Like that 3 minute long scene where Kim Basinger just sits there and just watches it all happen. God damn it. Yeah, I love that scene.
I think it's the worst scene of that movie.
Yeah.
It's
Just
so
the
out of
fact that
character.
yeah, the fact that Prince is in that movie. Like that's the weirdest part. That's how the
no, that's cool. He did the whole soundtrack.
Yeah,
He
I
put
know.
out an
It's
album.
kind of weird. It still sticks out and that's the thing where it's like, "Oh, it's 89." Okay.
But yeah, let's say goodbye to the headlines here and get into TV. The last one, as you may know, the most interesting man in the world at Dos Equis, he is being sent to Mars. They're ending his commercial campaign. So let's just, pour one out for the man. It was a good
Good
time.
run.
Hopefully, we'll never see those memes ever again. But
You're
it was
tired of
good while it
them?
lasted. Yeah, I hope so.
I don't know. I get a good chuckle out of them, but they don't bother me. I mean,
I don't always make bad jokes, but when I do, it's in a picture like this.
this is a podcast, man.
They could,
When you
illustrate
do,
that.
this is what it sounds like. You hear that? I
So winds of change
I think I
to
hear a
TV.
freeway.
Uh, so this is still kind of tech, but it's TV, but it's cool, but it's just off of a headline. And so here it is. This year's Olympics in Rio will be partially shot in drumroll, please. That's a really bad drumroll. And 8K with 22.2 channel surround sound, and it's also going to be broadcast in part in virtual reality. This is really fucking awesome. It's also going to be used to demo downscaled 4K, high dynamic range, but both of those techs are only going to be available in Japan, where telecos are actually playing with these things on a large scale. So if you live in Japan, you're really lucky. It must be awesome if you have that set up. Can you imagine 22.2 channel surround sound?
Jesus Christ, man. Can I imagine it? Yes. Am I overwhelmed right now just by the idea? Absolutely.
Some theaters don't even have 22 speakers
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
with the 8K. I'm sure I'll be watching some of the VR
Oh
content,
yeah,
swimming or something,
yeah, definitely. I
boxing.
mean, Jesus Christ, man. Wow, this is fuck.
It's
This is
happening.
this summer. Jesus.
It's
I
happening.
know.
Hopefully Sony announces something next week where they're gonna have live event viewers so you can watch the sports on the system that dreams can come true. And it's not just going to be sports, too. It's not just the Olympics. USA Today is launching a virtual reality news show in the spring named Virtually There, as in virtually there.
Yeah.
Pretty cool pun. Um,
Yeah, but it's
I
too
don't know.
obvious.
I don't know if that's gonna be cool. I do know someone that works at USA Today. Maybe I'll give him, drop him an email, see if he can get me the inside scoop on this. But this is on top of Good Morning America did something the other week, and New York Times has their app, and Sports Illustrated. So it's very surely looking, or at least I'm hoping, still yet again and always, that this isn't a fad, that this doesn't have the lasting appeal of 3D, that
VR.
it isn't a here yeah,
No,
VR. That's not
I'm pretty
not a here
sure.
and then and gone again.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that there's going to be a point where you and I are going to be talking through Skype through VR. Like that will happen. I
Maybe not
Come
because
on.
Microsoft is invested in AR technology, but it's a
It'll
possibility.
be done that way. I mean, yeah, pretty soon we'll be able to look at each other face to face, except not really be in the same room.
Let's see, that would be creepy though.
That well, not it'll be probably much more accepted, and we'll be used to it at a certain point. But yes, of course, every piece of science fiction,
So
has
what you're
made it seem.
saying is Skyping, like Skype sex in the near future is gonna be awesome. That's what you're saying. That's what you're getting at.
How does that work? Like, what piece of machinery do you get to like react to stimulate, genital? How does that work?
Fly Flesh. They have this shit. I don't know the name of it right now, but it's like it's meant for cyber sex. It's like the woman has a dildo and the guy has like some kind of fleshlight device, and so they're synced up and wired to communicate with each other through the internet, so you can have a long distance sex life.
You know what? I
I don't
mean,
remember the name here, but this is something that's existed for a couple of years here, and they're supposedly pretty popular. So I would bet that VR tech in the next 5 years will catch up and allow you to do that in real time.
you know what? I'm just willing to bet. Like, it might be too soon to say this. I don't think anything will substitute like face to face real life. Just when it comes to sex, maybe conversation. Yeah, you can fake being in the same room, but any intimate situation. I mean, how? Just yeah, I don't think the mind will allow it if you know that there's a fake element in there to be as good.
If the VR is good enough, you won't know.
I
If you're all VR needs is stimulation. Like if you can have some kind of haptic response, like think about vibration, not just in your phone, but like in a video game controller. When you're typing on your phone and you feel that click that you got it right, even though
yeah,
you're not technically touching anything, it fools you when you don't think about it. It's not the same as an actual
but
keyboard.
of
There's
course
no
you are aware
clicking
about it.
sound.
Like why?
Of course you're
Yeah,
aware,
yeah.
but like I said, the more you do it, the more numbed you are by it, and you just kind of take for granted. You're like, oh yeah, it's vibrating, I can feel it. But once upon a time, that was huge tech. It was like, oh, we found this out, just like I said,
Jesus.
video game controllers.
All I
It's
can
hard to imagine a video game without some kind of response to physical actions.
all I can think about right now is just that one moment in THX 1138 where they're watching that one show and the guy's just talking about with the laugh track. I just bought my car yesterday and I ran it into the Civic Center. And then just Robert Duvall just looks at it and goes, "That was very funny."
Yeah.
I'm terrified of ending up like that. I don't want to be numb to all this shit that we're getting.
See, it's gonna. They almost got it right in Wally when all the
I
fat
know
people
it's
without
scary.
any
Like
bone. Yeah,
it's so
they're gonna
easy to
be with
just be,
the VR headsets.
like God. It's so
They
easy to get used to this
they lay down
stuff.
hover
We got to
beds.
find a way to just preserve individuality in the process, man. That's
Watch, nudist colonies are gonna be really big in 30 years because it's gonna be like the only escape from this kind of
You're
stuff.
talking about my retirement here.
Where would you hide your money
What money?
as a nudist? I mean, you got no pockets. Like that's
Oh,
what
it's
I've
it's
always
it's all
wondered. I was talking
digital,
about this
man.
the
It's
other
just
day.
a digital
Like
bank
say,
account. You're going to be able to
like,
access it probably through a fingerprint or a retina scan, something like
well,
that.
that wouldn't exactly
Password?
be
Come on.
a nudist colony. Then you'd be like jacked in. Like these are gonna be people that rip their microchips out of their arms, live off the grid. It's gonna be like Fahrenheit 451. They're gonna have their paper money still. It's gonna be monopoly money,
Whichever one of
probably.
those is going on in a colony out in outer space, if there's a space station for that, fuck yeah, I'm there.
I would not want to live in space.
I want to
I would
retire
like
in
to live.
space or some
I
other
do want
planet.
to. I do want to live in cyberspace though, and so does Amazon through VR. There's a job posting that was revealed earlier this week that they're working on not only VR content but also apps for Amazon Video. Who knows how fast they're going to get into that game? I wouldn't be surprised, matter of fact, if they just try to make their own VR headset. It kind of makes sense because all the big ones right now are video game oriented. Someone in the film industry, I'm sure, is going to try to make one that's meant for just filmmaking, or not filmmaking, but film quote unquote going, like Google Cardboard Plus or something. I don't know. Maybe it could be Apple. Who
Hmm.
I don't know, but I think Amazon could be one of those people because beside their one failure, which was the Amazon Fire phone, the Kindle, the Fire HD, Alexa, like all their other stuff that they make in house does pretty well. So it would make sense as a seamless business model.
I will believe it. I really don't have much to add there. I'm sorry.
No, you got even less sad about this one. I'll skip it basically then.
What was it?
Um, well, Amazon,
The
we were
first
talking
daily
about
live show?
yeah, like so the other week they got their fashion show that's live, but now yeah, they have a daily show that already started this past Monday, Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern and 6 Pacific. It's called Style Code Live, and they break down like trends. The 30-minute show. There's like galleries where they display the stuffs that are being discussed, and you can like do one-click purchasing. There's also like live chat and interactive content. I need to check this out. Just I'm curious to see how it works. I have to imagine it's pretty similar to watching like a Twitch stream or something
Hmm.
along that. And given that they own Twitch, it might even be the same like technology behind it.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, I'm not the audience for this program at all, but this is like cable's dying out, and this is how a bunch of shows like that are already established are going to make the transition. Sports Center will do it
well,
in that
just
way.
think,
The stuff on Fox News, I don't know, the O'Reilly Factor or CNN, Larry King, or even the fucking Late Show or the Tonight Show, stuff like that. Yeah, I mean this is like one of the first starts in doing that. Although, I mean, from Amazon, yeah, that's a big deal, but that's how, yeah, that's how we're probably going to access a ton of live content, even sports for that matter.
what I think the key thing here though is like I said that they're basically doing the home shopping network,
Yeah.
but on a website where you can buy all this shit. So
Oh,
they're gonna
yeah,
be
no,
going,
that's true.
check
Yeah.
out this pawn show. It's so
You
nice.
can click
Right
right here,
below,
right now to get it.
exactly.
Yeah.
You can get it with Prime shipping in 2 days, folks. Don't miss this. This is a gold box deal. This isn't gonna last
I
long.
did not
Like
think of
I
that. That
have
makes
to
a lot of
assume
sense.
it's something along those lines with other stuff going at the same time. It's really smart. Like imagine if they got, oh, here's our new Amazon Fire Watch. Check it out. And like to get this video, and if they do this in VR, if this show's a hit
Oh, yeah.
and you're watching your VR helmet and you can purchase it while actually seeing it as it were in reality, um, it's all gonna meet somewhere. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, no, I got you. See, I did have
Uh,
something to add there.
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
You totally did. Another Amazon thing that's happening though, they just proved another live action adaptation of The Tick for a pilot order. It has the same showrunner as the guy that was on the Fox live action show and the cartoon. Has a new cast. It's basically a reboot. I kind did you see either of those
No,
shows?
so I don't know how big of a fan base this has, or just looking at the still on the cover of this, if I'm supposed to take it seriously in any way whatsoever.
No,
I'm
very over the top, comical, campy
in a
show,
good
and so was
way.
the cartoon. Yeah, like it was fun. It
Okay.
was kind of like imagine a playful Watchmen that kind of breaks down like what it's or like a Kick-Ass but not rated R. Okay, like it plays with genre conventions and it's like what being a superhero is like, and but then you got Patrick Warburton playing like a superhero, and that's all I really remember of that show. And it only lasted 8 episodes before they canceled it, but it has a huge cult following. I think that, we've talked about this before. That's what the streaming model is perfect for, especially in terms of binging.
Mhm.
So I'd be really surprised if it doesn't get picked up again. And like just to bring it all together, like Sony TV, they're producing this, and they worked on, or they're the production company that did the TV show in the late or early 2000s, was it? Um,
Well, I'm just glad to see that Wally Pfister's getting some work there.
yeah, he's directing the pilot of this, and
Which,
then
yeah,
also
I wonder if
some
they're going to let
Netflix
him
show
shoot
is
on
filling
film, or if he's going to
that.
put up a fight
Yeah,
on that. I don't know. Or
that'd
maybe
be
he's
so
picking up the
stupid.
Alexa 65 and going, now this is the highest quality image that's out there.
I can't imagine that
This
workflow.
does
Like, yeah,
not
let's
seem
shoot it
like.
on film to put it on DI so it can be on a only digital format
No, I
always.
want to do it. I want to do color correction the chemical way. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know anything about this show or how it suits his sensibilities. I guess he's not going back to being a DP. He's more focused on keeping his director's career going.
It's
Um,
usually how it
yeah,
goes.
yeah,
We talked about this when we were talking about Dunkirk the other day,
yeah.
which, by the way, just got some stars. If you can believe this or not, Harry Styles from One Direction is gonna be the lead in Dunkirk along with a newcomer.
You know,
Yeah, that happened.
yeah. I honestly, it's not the first time that you've seen someone from a band get cast. Could be a good thing. I don't know.
I'm concerned because this is Christopher Nolan casting one of the biggest, boy band stars currently. Like,
I
imagine
think,
if
yeah, that.
Justin Timberlake, when he was in Sync,
Uh huh.
was in a David Fincher movie.
Yeah, but I mean, all it took was him being in a David Fincher movie and people realizing, oh, okay, so he actually can
Later
act.
days, though, after he was in several
Yeah, all
movies
you
and he had
have
a
to
solo
do is
career
prove
and the
people
Super Bowl
wrong.
show.
I mean, that's
This
it.
is nothing about if this guy can
I
act or
know.
not.
Like,
I'm just
I
kind
know that
of
people are gonna be much more.
ashamed that
Sorry, go ahead.
this is weird. Like I'm almost like ashamed that his next movie, his big return to, it seems like it's gonna be a smaller cast of characters. Interstellar, at least a smaller scale. I mean, it's a war movie, so who
I
knows?
mean,
But
Interstellar, as big as that was still much more intimate, and like, yes, there are big moments,
it's
but
called
they,
Interstellar.
yeah, I know, but like, it wasn't. No, it was. I don't know. It was much more. It felt smaller in its own right and much more intimate. It wasn't over bloated or big or anything.
Instead of one planet in this movie, there's several.
Yeah, no. I mean, there's an epic vast there's vast territory, but I mean, like, as it's not like bombastic or anything like The Dark Knight or something. It's not. I don't know. There's just something about it that feels smaller and much more. Much. I am terrible at
Yes,
phrasing this. Am I getting anything across to you at all in terms of how I'm trying to
not
express this? Well, then
really.
let's just move on.
I'm just trying to say that it's fucking weird. It would seriously be no different if Justin Bieber was starring in this thing. Like, it's basically the same thing.
I mean, yeah, but that's, who knows, like, how. First off, I don't even know what Harry Styles looks like. I don't give a shit about One Direction at
He's a
all.
good-looking British dude.
Okay,
But
well,
that's what I'm saying. Think about his fans out there.
hmm
That, yeah, sure, they might like Christopher Nolan
yeah.
movies. A lot of people like those Dark
Well,
Knight
see,
films.
like you said,
But
I'm
how many of them
uncultured,
are
so
seeing this?
this will hardly be distracted to me. But yes, that is a good thing that you already have an audience in there that's gonna be interested, that is going to be open to seeing something. They might expect something specific, but then, for all we know, it could turn out to work perfectly, and they'll realize, oh, so this person has range. They can do more than just fucking, get on a stage and sing.
Sure, but for every Marky Mark, there's an ice, Vanilla Ice.
Yeah, I
So,
know. It's always, there's always trepidation when it comes across, and people just go, I don't know. All it takes is just for the thing to be fucking good, and then people will shut up.
well, hopefully he gets no dialogue and just looks pretty on camera. Netflix, though, right before we jump into film, Luke Cage got a date. It's going to be streaming starting September 30th. So I'll be definitely tuning in at midnight the 29th. If you haven't seen Jessica Jones, he's introduced on that. plays a pretty big part for about half the
It
season.
looks much better than Daredevil, I'll say that. And
You
I
need to
only saw
shut
the
up about
first
the
two
Daredevil.
episodes. We will get to that, and I'm still willing to watch
Exactly.
season two. I really hope it's much less of a slog. I really do.
But yeah, Netflix, even bigger news besides just a date. After a 5 year struggle at HBO, David Fincher and Charlize Theron are bringing Mindhunter to Netflix. Fincher's going to be directing the pilot. This is based on some like psychological studies, true life, I don't know, some kind of shit. Like I said, it's been in development for over 5 years. So who knows if it's even a real thing anymore. But this isn't obviously the first time that Fincher has done some directing for Netflix. He directed the first two episodes of House of
Still
Cards.
an
I,
executive producer on that.
yeah, and I am sure he's involved in other ways at the Redbox company. But like countering this, which is weird, Time Warner just boosted the original program spending at HBO by 50%. That's like, oh, we didn't want your piece of shit, but we're gonna be, putting an extra $2 billion out there now. And this is on top of whatever I think I said something similar just the other week about them raising their money at HBO. So I don't know. Maybe it was just a weird fit. I mean, House of Cards was shopped at HBO back in the day too. Maybe they don't like Fincher as much as he likes them.
I don't know, but I mean, original program. I mean, the binging model is like it's just it's working at Netflix, and they're able to make so much more content that people are trying to get as much of it as they can. So I'm guessing it's just another way of competing against that. They want to put more content out there that people can watch. And Game of Thrones is so fucking successful right now that I'm sure they're getting the money to do it.
Yeah, I mean,
And
I
that's
think it was just
also a show
announced
that they're
that.
proud is being pirated.
Well, less so. I mean, we talked
Yeah.
about that last week in terms of them getting rid of the teaser screeners for
Well,
critics.
yeah, that plus
But
HBO now
like
makes it easier for people to get, and yeah.
Peter Dinklage is hosting SNL. I think this next week or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's just anticipation for Game of Thrones. I'll be tuning in, at least for his monologue. I'm sure there's gonna be some fun midget tossing stuff or something along those lines. Like maybe they do like a thing on like the Station Agent sequel, where he like reprises his role from Elf, something like that. But jumping into film, staying with Netflix. Talked last week about this. Were you on the show? You definitely were when we did Max Landis. More news has come out about his script, Bright. It might be at Netflix. It's said to need a 80 to $100 million budget, and Netflix looks like they might be putting up the bill. But yeah, story details have come out too. It's being described as a mixing of End of Watch, with which Dave Ayer directed, and also Alien Nation, the 1988 sci-fi thriller where human and alien cop have to join forces to solve a case. I think it's Will Smith is playing an orc, and Joel Edgerton is playing a human, and they have to work together here. The more I hear about this, even though I've only known about it for about 7 days, it gets more and more interesting. This sounds like something that is bigger than Netflix should be, and maybe they'll have to put this one out and try to, make a blockbuster instead of just a weird little Oscar
I
contender.
don't know. We'll see. I mean, unless they're. I have no idea what the numbers are. Well, they never even report them anyway, but.
Yeah.
The fact that they're confident enough to go through with this is very telling. Especially they got good talent behind it. David Ayer jumping into this after Suicide Squad, and I mean, I don't know about you. You're a fan of Max Landis, right?
Yeah, we did
Yeah,
this
yeah.
last week.
Yeah, okay, just checking. I just I can't tell anymore. I just want to be sure.
I mean, nothing that Report Notice did was even about Max Landis. It was about the movie and where it's
You
going and who's
found a way
involved
to
in the
bring Max
story.
Landis into this.
Yeah, he fucking wrote the script, which is being shopped around at Netflix for $80
Okay.
million
Mm-hmm.
dollars. That's impressive.
Yeah.
That hasn't been done yet at a streaming model. What was Chirac's budget?
Probably like
20?
5, 15, maybe less than that. I don't know.
Yeah, so the way you get big attention is by making big movies. We're not talking about not the Hateful Eight, the fucking, I can't remember how bad that movie was. The Ridiculous Six. This isn't that.
Yeah.
This is something really, really big with an A-list director who's doing a tentpole right now with Will Smith attached, who is still one of the most bankable movie stars on the planet. And when you got that kind of talent doing a streaming model, it's big waves, and this isn't about fanboying for Max Landis. That's completely off
Well,
base. That
it's
was last week.
okay. Yeah, I'm making a joke there. I'm just busting your balls. But yeah, I mean, David Ayer. It's funny because just every time that Netflix acquires somebody, it seems like they're looking at their algorithm in a way, like who they get the most streams off of. And you have, I mean, End of Watch was on there. So was Sabotage. I don't think Fury was on there. But yeah, I mean, every time I scrolled through Netflix, like, those were some of like the big ones in the top movies section that kept coming up. So I don't know if like, have you been, I'm sure we discussed this in some form, but yeah, have you noticed that like every time that they acquire somebody, like it's just something that's already recognizable within the content that they have. Like, I mean, there's got to be some sort of algorithm in there of like, oh, people like stuff that David Ayer puts out and it gets us hits, so let's get David Ayer to make something for us. You know what I mean?
Maybe, but I mean that's not
It's
even
got more to do
necessarily
with
what's
him
going
than
on here.
excellence. I don't know. It's
That's
kind of
I
a
mean that's
cynical
not even
thought, but yeah,
Netflix hasn't acquired this film yet. They're not making it. They're just the front runner. Like anything can happen. There's rumor that the production company behind Will Smith's Collateral Beauty might be involved. It's still, like I said, this script it's a spec script that's been floating around the town for like 2 weeks now or something like that. So it's still just, no one knows anything. It's just rumors and unknown sources and things like that. But I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up at the Canadian mini studio. But I mean, it's like you said, they are known for collaborations that work in
hmm
algorithms and stuff like
yeah.
that. And proof of that is that they just acquired Hush, the latest Intrepid and Blumhouse film by Mike Flanagan, who uh, before that did Oculus, which was at South by Southwest, and then went to Netflix. Same thing's happening here. Hush is currently playing at the festival. This sounds really cool. I actually can't wait to see this Halloween. It's a micro budget thriller about a deaf woman having her home invaded. It's going to start streaming April 9th. It's like I said, I this sounds like it could actually be scary.
It's kind
Like
of
not
like
like
Wait Until Dark, except with a deaf person instead of blind.
see, I
Like,
didn't even know what that movie
oh, you don't
was,
know what
but
Wait Until
sure,
Dark
yeah.
is?
No.
Oh man,
Oh wait, yeah, dude, yeah, yeah. It's
yeah,
like 1967
yeah.
with
Audrey
Audrey
Hepburn.
Hepburn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the ending was like if you watch the Bravo 100 Scariest Moments, then the ending is spoiled for probably most people, and that might be how they heard of it. Like that's how
I
I
think that's what
first heard
happened
of
to
it
me.
growing up. But such a good movie, man. Fuck, what's his name? Uh,
But then again,
yeah.
I mean, the difference here, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's not any black screen, just audio in that movie, right? I have to
Yeah, no,
imagine
no,
in
like
this film they're gonna
it's a
do
similar way. Just
muted.
yeah, they're playing with someone that's deaf instead of blind. Yeah, I imagine because I mean yeah, they definitely play with darkness and your sight in Wait Until Dark. But yeah, I mean that God damn, this sounds cool.
Like, because you know how people say a movie's not scary to cover your ears, like when you take away the score and the sound effects, any of those cues, Wilhelm screens, creaking floorboards, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's not scary, and that is true. When you make a movie like this with this concept, maybe they're capable of making a horror film that is scary without sound,
Well, I mean that's the
in the
thing.
same
It's
way,
just
silent film works.
yeah. I mean that's the thing. When it comes to horror, like when there's an element of real life that is missing that is supposed to be there, but you don't have it there, you just get naturally uncomfortable, and it gets really fucking unnerving. Like yeah, if you
Hmm.
don't have sight, then and you're just counting on sound, it's really tense and uncomfortable. And I mean like we talked about this on I think yeah, Bay of Blood. Like one of the tense moments in that movie had to do with lighting a match, and just every time that it was dark, you just kind of really felt it, like shit, like, and then what's gonna happen when it goes back on? You know what I mean? Do you remember it, or did you forget that movie too?
Sort of, not really.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean, that
that's the one.
not one of our best
No,
death
but that is
cinematographs.
I'm pretty sure on the podcast when we talk about it, that's the one moment that we said was legitimately good.
Well, that and also like the axe through the torso shit
Yeah,
and
and
dying in
the
the
fucking
beds and
scene, yeah, and the mummy,
yeah,
yeah.
and the girl running around naked
Yeah.
and
Which
there's
one?
there's a,
Which
there
one? There's more than one.
the
Yeah.
the main one at the lake.
Which one?
There was a one. Also, I really liked the opening scene of that movie. That was the best part of the whole
Yeah,
film,
the
to be
old lady.
honest. Yeah, the old lady
It's
with like the traditional Columbo setup, and you're like, oh, this is something completely different. But yeah, other grabs here. A24, they just nabbed the rights to Free Fire. It's a thriller about an arms deal between Irish gangs gone wrong, and it has a fucking kick-ass cast. I really want to see this when it hits Prime. Brie Larson, Armie Hammer, Charlotte Copley, and Killian Murphy. I have to imagine this is winning at the Independent Spirit Awards for something,
all you
you
gotta
know?
say is gangs and Charlton Copley, and already I'm there because I'm sure in some way he'll go over the
Chappie good.
top. Yeah, and I'm just gonna fucking enjoy him chewing the scenery in whatever way possible.
You heard Daddy? You steal from Daddy? It's my best Chappie. I can't do better than that. Great movie. Don't listen to the critics. That was my
Decent,
favorite.
decent movie.
Better
Ambitious.
than Fantastic Four. Okay. That was my
Uh,
favorite critically panned movie of
you know
2015
what?
for sure.
I'll say I respect it more than Fantastic Four for. I mean, definitely far less of a disaster and way more ambitious and kind of amazing that it can get made in the studio system. But maybe I kind of enjoy them on the same level, honestly.
I mean, think about it. We almost got an Alien sequel because of how that movie was made.
But
We were
yeah,
that
because
close, but instead
Ridley
Prometheus 2,
Scott was like, no,
no,
yeah,
I'm gonna make my
just
fucking
said it
stupid
very
movie.
confidently, like in a very Ridley Scott way. Have you seen that guy just talk about making The Martian, like at that round table? So what was the most challenging part? Nothing. It was really easy, actually.
It's Matt Damon not smiling between
Yeah,
takes.
no, I mean that guy putting out a movie every year, just goddamn, like really keeping busy. I
Uh,
really respect
Not
that.
related, not even on the show, but did you read that thing on the internet about Oliver Stone like meeting with Edward Snowden multiple times and like him like getting approval for the film and showing him the footage and like being in touch with his wife and a whole bunch of shit? Did you see
I
that?
did not. I
It was
maybe
so
that could be
weird.
affecting why it's not getting released right now. If he's going to him directly and going, "Hey, is this
I
okay that we can show this?" I don't know.
I don't think that was more. It was more of a, in the same way when whatchamacallit, when Steve Jobs came out, like, Sony or that wasn't Sony anyway. Was that Weinstein Company? They went
No,
to,
Universal.
it was Universal. Yeah, that's right. They and Legendary. Yeah, I can't forget that. So weird. They went to Apple and gave them a copy just so you get the blessing. Something you more traditionally do with biopics. Well, I mean, this is a biopic, but maybe it'll be good because of this. I think it's still gonna suck.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
got weird calendar pushes multiple times. Let's jump into some geeky stuff. The quote unquote superhero, super cool things. It was released that Civil War's runtime. Da, 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 da. It's the longest Marvel movie to date, at a whopping 5 minutes longer than Age of Ultron.
Whoop-de-doo. Which
Whoop de
is
fucking
it really
do.
surprising? We knew it would be somewhat long.
I mean, what's funny here is that Civil War is still 5 minutes shorter than Dawn of Justice.
I you know what? I honestly I'm pretty sure that Dawn of Justice is probably going to be more bloated. That's my guess when the final cut comes out.
I can't really see how that's a possibility given that, I mean, you've seen the thing, but given that like an
But
hour
I
is committed to one character and then like another hour is committed to introducing
I,
others.
I have no idea how. Yeah, I mean, because I've seen. I can't say I've seen the thing. Like what I told you was that I saw some work that was work in progress. So I know that there's stuff that needs fixing in places from what I saw.
You did see it a while ago
Yeah,
though.
like it's
So
no
it
longer
was
fresh in my.
November or
It was like
something.
the beginning of December.
Yeah, so a whole quarter is a lot of
Yeah, I
editing.
mean, it's not fresh right now, honestly. Aside from a few things, I'm sure that it'll be cut down heavily.
Yeah, so no one really gave a shit about the runtime, but it's a great segue for the one that people did care about. You couldn't not see this on the internet. I believe it was Wednesday. The new Spider-Man, which has got to be like the worst tack on for a trailer ever. Like it makes you completely disregard the earlier 2 minutes.
Again, it's that thing in trailers where I don't know, I kind of just don't like where you can have a trailer that's very epic and serious and
Uh,
then you end it on a weird humorous note, like just as
Weird,
some kind of
humorous
relief.
cliffhanger fanboy reaction
Yeah,
clip.
but I mean the moment itself, not bad. The way
Pretty
that
cool.
Robert Downey Jr. announces it, although I got to say
Would have been way cooler in the film without seeing it though.
yeah, sure. I mean,
If they did the Star Wars and you saw nothing of Spider-Man until the actual movie, and then it was on the TV spots after opening weekend,
yeah.
that would have, oh man, that would have been really
Uh,
cool. But I mean, I guess this is their way to try to take thunder away from Batman versus Superman before it
I
opens.
guess. I mean, just get people a little bit more excited. I don't have a very great or important opinion on the matter. I mean, my reaction was just kind of like, oh, okay, so that's there. All
Yeah, look,
right.
his eyes can move now. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Is that really a big deal to people? I mean, for
People
Deadpool, I
love.
get it. For Spider-Man, I
I
don't
mean,
know.
Spider-Man is one of the more vocal characters in the Marvel universe, and him doing quips and being comical in fights is what makes him Spider-Man.
See, it works
Um,
even without CGI eyes, like in the other
I
movies
mean,
for
it
me. I mean,
works, but at the same time, you're getting a deadpan with dialogue. Whereas this, I mean,
yeah, but you still got like gestures and expressions. Like you can, like when Andrew Garfield did it, yeah, there's the hand gestures and like just those movements, and then it's
yeah,
still
but
like just that sarcasm and those quips still like shine through. Like you see like little contortions in the mask that are moving that you can definitely
imagine
feel it.
if
Like
you
I don't
never,
need that enhanced for me. I really don't.
imagine if you never got the helmet cam from Iron Man, and it was just outside. And that was it.
Yeah, well, that is a different thing though.
It's
Um,
the same.
no,
It's the same. I think this
I
is
really don't
really
think
nice.
so. I don't. I mean, I don't. But then again, we'll see how it's used. I mean, yeah, there is that theory that Tony Stark might have some tech so that he's able to do that, and that would make more sense, like to give these movies some sort of semblance of reality, or like something that makes sense because it can't be as outlandish as something like Deadpool, and even then, Ant Man has its own rules that it follows closely.
I mean,
For the sake of
they
not going outside of the realm of plausibility for that universe.
if they can make the Rorschach mask, they can make this thing. I believe it.
Oh, that's a different thing.
Similar.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
know. Whatever. I
I don't know.
they're
The
both based
other,
on comics. That's or graphic, not whatever. I don't want to get into a semantics argument.
not nearly as big, but just as cool was Warner announcing that J.K. Simmons is playing the new Commissioner Gordon in the Justice League. I'm assuming part one and two, and the Batman solo film whenever that comes. I don't really care about this, to be honest, because I'm just gonna see him being J. Jonah Jameson on
Yeah,
screen.
that's the
I'm sure
thing.
he's still gonna have a mustache. He's gonna have a fake hairpiece.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't see it.
Well, it's not bad casting. If you picture Jonah Jameson, then yeah, sure, that's not
Well,
great casting. But
that's what I'm
if you
seeing.
picture just J.K. Simmons, like even from Whiplash or something, I mean, well, not no, no, okay, that's a bad
He
comparison.
has no hair in
Yeah,
Whiplash. Yeah,
but hey, just J.K. Simmons in general, yeah, as a chief of police or commissioner,
Commissioner.
yeah, I could see it.
I can see it. I just
Just take Jonah Jameson out of the equation. That's Jonah
no.
Jameson. That's not
Look,
J.K. Simmons.
it's a pitfall of recasting actors that have done great performances of comic book characters. They aren't typecast necessarily, but you do have a mental association. Like it
This
works
is
that
an
you
Academy
never
Award
see.
winning actor that is able to play
That's like
different
half of
characters.
people in the
You
DC
don't
universe, though,
watch you don't watch Whiplash and think, "Oh, that's Jonah Jameson." You don't watch Juno and
because
think
he
that's
has no
Jonah
hair.
Jameson. Yeah. So,
Because he has no
yeah,
hair.
so who knows how he will look in this, I doubt
Commissioner Gordon has a mustache. J. Jonah Jameson has a mustache. They're men of power.
huh.
There's gonna be some kind of natural connection there.
Pat
Just like in the
Hingle didn't
same
have
way.
a mustache, did he?
Who?
In the Tim Burton Batman movies. Pat Hingle?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Did he?
think I'm pretty sure. Yeah, like one of the only characterizations of Jim Gordon is that he has glasses and a
Hmm.
mustache and an overcoat, but it's like, every cop in a metropolitan city.
All right, well, we'll see. Yeah,
Eh, uh,
it's not bad casting. I don't know. Just divorce the fact that
no, yeah,
it's
it's
Spider
not
Man.
bad.
I can
I'm
do
sure
that.
I'll be okay with it. It's just it is funny.
I'm sure.
DC so far has done a pretty good job of casting people that haven't been superheroes before, besides Ben Affleck. But then again, he was also Superman in a past life. You saw Hollywoodland, right? Right?
No, actually,
No.
no.
So that's the movie about how George
Yeah,
Reeves
Ben
died.
Affleck.
And so yeah, and Ben Affleck in a scene or two has a Superman costume on,
The
and does some
the
stuff.
gray one, right?
So that's why Batman kicks Superman's ass, because Ben Affleck knows all of his powers. He was Superman in a past life. That's how that works, right?
Sure,
I think that's how it
sure.
works. But I think the cooler casting here, and this is definitely a rumor right now, but Daisy Ridley is apparently on the short list for the Tomb Raider reboot.
Yay.
I think that's a really good fit.
Yeah. I mean, she has to get something after
Really,
Star Wars, right?
well, she's definitely going to get something.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Even
she
Mark
has
Hamill
to,
had it
is
with
what I'm
her.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah. She also was singing Barbara Streisand the other day or something. Um, I can see this. They're apparently going to the route of the rebooted video game series, and I really like that game from 2013. I haven't played Rise of the Tomb Raider, but it makes sense given the audience that those games have garnished that it would be a telling of the new story in the Square Enix
Hmm.
franchise. But yeah, I hope it's her because that would be a real distance from the Angelina Jolie character.
No, I mean, yeah, Angelina Jolie. Like, God, I can't remember that movie.
I
I
saw
know
that shit in
I know I
theaters.
wanted to see it in theaters, and then my parents were like, "No, you're gonna go see Shrek," because
I mean, that's a good move too.
yeah, no, but I mean, I think it was mainly the thing of I was what, like in third grade at that time or something, and they were
You
like,
know, you were
"No,
older than that.
yeah, well,
But
what was it? What was it? 2000,
it was like early fifth
2000,
grade.
2001?
I think it was 2001. Yeah,
Yeah, no, so yeah,
it was like May or July.
yeah, or no, okay, that was fourth grade. Yeah, yeah, my parents were just like, "No, it's PG-13. You're too young." Fucking yeah.
Sucks for
My
you.
parents were not cool. I mean, I told you this, right? Like I had to fucking hack the parental lock on the digital cable and watch R-rated movies underground when I was young. Like
Yeah, I got it. You
church
jerked off to
lockdowns.
Cinemax for a couple.
HBO
Yeah, yeah,
didn't have
Cinemax.
Cinemax, but
Well,
yeah,
Skinemax. Okay,
didn't it wasn't part of the package. No.
I've seen it. The Real Sex 7, like
HBO Zone had some
Hot
stuff at
Wives.
2 a.m.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that stuff was horrible.
Well,
I've
when
seen
you're
it
a
too.
kid,
Like,
you know, you take what you
oh,
can
that's the
get.
yeah, it's the best thing
It's
back then. You know,
pre-internet
the internet.
days, you know, or there was internet, but I didn't have my own computer at the time.
It wasn't even that. You weren't. No one taught you that the internet could do that yet. You just thought it was an educational tool where you could play bad video games.
Well, yeah, that too. But I mean, just you couldn't access. No one had their own computer yet. Now kids have fucking smartphones when they're 8.
Yeah. Um, Last thing in our geekdom corner here, you're probably excited about this. Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg might be producing a live-action Where's Waldo flick at MGM. Kyle Hunter and Ariel Shaffir, who both worked on the screenplay for The Night Before, are going to be adapting the character for the big screen. I don't know how you make this into a fucking
I
movie.
wouldn't say excited, just but in general, yes, I will watch anything that they do because I laugh at what they do, and that's what their fucking jobs are, is that they're supposed to make people laugh, and I enjoy what they do.
Just how do you do this? What's the premise? Is it like an international search to find
Who
Waldo?
knows?
Is Waldo the protagonist? Is he the
I'm sure there's gonna
antagonist?
be a lot more drug and
Like,
partying montages. Like if Chris Miller and Phil Lord were hired to do this, I'd probably be
oh,
more
it'd be
interested.
yeah, it'd be really
Just because
good.
that's what they do. But hey, you know, yeah, I'll see it. Fuck yeah, I'm down.
Oh
I
man,
don't know
I
what they'll
mean
do,
this
maybe, but you know,
this is one of those movies where they need trailers. This is what
yeah.
they invented trailers
Here's
for,
the
you
thing: is
know?
that when they do adaptations, like obviously you're not looking forward to Preacher, and I could see like it's very different from what they've done. I love the Green Hornet. I know a lot of people don't. I love what they did with it, even though that's not a traditional adaptation of that source at all. It's yeah, yeah. I'll just say it again. Sure, I'm interested. I wouldn't say
Okay.
excited like you said, but yeah, I'm interested.
I mean, you'll have to go see this one for all of us and bite a bullet. You know, maybe it could be good, but
You know, it just has to be funny, really. That's it. It's the idea of Where's Waldo. I mean, come on, you hear that title? There has to be some jokes in there. I don't know how they'll do it, but we'll see.
we will see. Franchises that might happen right here. Michael Keaton, he's gonna be starring in American Assassin, an adaptation of one of Vince Flynn's bestsellers. It's a long line of books with this character. He's the guy that trained CIA operatives, so he's gonna be like, ultimate badass type thing. Very excited that Michael Keaton has the gravitas now after being in back-to-back Best Picture winners. That he's signing on to be an action star again.
Yeah, no, no. I
Uh,
mean, good for him.
I'm just really full of glee that he's come back this big.
Yeah, I mean, from like what was his biggest high-profile thing? Post grad in 2009, I think, before everything else.
Herbie Fully Loaded, Toy Story 3.
Okay, yeah. There's the Pixar stuff. There's that, and then Cars.
Oh yeah, he was in the first Cars. He
Yeah,
played the mustache guy.
yeah.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was a
Like
that
not Lightning McQueen. What was it? Thunder.
chick.
I can't. Chick.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's like Azuga, Azuga, because he tried.
yeah.
Whatever.
No, no, he was good in that.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
good
I
in
like
that.
Cars, you guys. So fuck you.
Well, I think a lot of people like that first Cars. It's just
I
it
think
is the weakest Pixar franchise by a
well,
lot.
Monsters Inc. But that's a different conversation for another time,
You're
which we've
bad
already
at
had.
those jokes.
What?
There's no way
Monsters Inc. is
that
the weakest Pixar film. I'm serious.
I said franchise.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Well,
Cars is definitely their worst franchise.
well, least liked, but also most successful. Like,
Worst.
we know that Cars
It
2 got
has a
made because of
spin-off called
toys.
Planes that got bombed really hard. That was
Oh
like
no,
a made-for-TV movie
they
that was
didn't.
put out
They didn't
theatrically.
bomb actually. The first one did really well, and then the second one dropped off, but broke even. And I actually kind of enjoyed those movies too for what they were. Um, yeah, your silence says everything. Let's just move on.
Yeah. A couple of big name people here that are making a couple of movies, and then we're gonna do a wrap up. Jack Black is gonna be starring in and producing The Man Who Would Be Polka King. It's being described as centering on the true life polka crooner who did a prison stint for running a Ponzi scheme. Like this was big time polka, which doesn't isn't saying much, but he won a Grammy. I can't remember the guy's name right now. I'm sure it's gonna be a really interesting role for Jack Black. I think I might see this one. Then again, it depends who's directing. But this sounds like it could be something that Richard Linklater does.
Yeah, sure. I concur. I mean, I know nothing about polka. It's not a biopic. Yes, I'd be interested. Polka itself, just
You ever listen to Weird Al?
from time to time. Yeah,
There you go. That's good enough.
is it?
Polka for beginners, like the chicken dance,
Yeah.
or that's it. That's my
Well, hey,
polka knowledge.
anything a biopic in general is a good gateway into being familiar with a world that you have no familiarity or interest in whatsoever, and just to get a little glimpse of it.
It's like the whole polka community comes out, all the fans,
Yeah.
and it makes $10 million. Um, but yeah, other people, like I said, probably the coolest director on the docket today, Nicolas Cage. Yes, he directs movies too, people. He's going to be starring and directing Vengeance, a love story. It's an adaptation of Joyce Carol Oates' Rape, a love story about a cop who becomes a hero to a young mother in the aftermath of a gang rape. Maybe this will finally be one of his good movies again, or really fucking bad and really awesome. It's a win-win. If it's really horrible, it's going to be good. If it's really good, it's going to be good. So
That is the
this could,
best. I don't know if you typed that premise yourself or the description of it yourself, or
yeah,
if
yeah.
you're just reading off something. But
This is real.
oh
Yeah, I
yeah,
wrote
oh,
this down.
okay. Sounds very Nick Cage.
Right?
Yeah.
This is kind of like Con Air a little bit.
That's the best
Like
way. That's the
imagine
adjective right there. It's very Nick Cage.
instead of him getting into the fight in the bar from the movie if they raped his girlfriend.
um,
Honey bunny,
that
I
is
got you this. I
that
got you
is
this
that's
bunny.
awful. Oh man. Yeah. That just
I'll go see
just
this
yeah.
one.
I'll watch it probably.
It could be a good date movie.
This is probably this has to be seen to be believed. I can already figure that much out.
It could be amazing. Like I said, what if he wins like best director? and winning for Vengeance, a love story, Nicolas Cage.
And then 2 years from now, we just go back and we listen to this
The
podcast.
bees! I got the bees! Oh no! I'm gonna probably pick The Wicker Man for Death of
Have you
Cinema.
seen it?
I haven't seen it or the
Oh
original.
man, it's amazing.
Yeah, I've seen clips. I've seen the YouTube clips.
Yeah.
With the bad CG and the overacting.
You're all gonna be guilty, and you're doing it for nothing.
You fucking won an Oscar and you're doing this.
For fucking what was Leaving Las Vegas?
It's really good though. It's not
No,
Raising
no,
Arizona
I've
good.
seen it, but
It's not Moonstruck.
I've
but
seen it, and he's very one note in that. He's just an alcoholic. Like
He
that's
basically
kind of
won
it.
for the same reasons that Leo won this year. It was the pity win for really exerting
No,
herself. Like you can tell.
I think
I'm pretty fucking sure that Nicolas Cage was drunk in most of those takes.
honestly, I think that Leo went through a lot more. I mean, it seems like Nicolas Cage just kind of like repeated
Well, yeah,
himself, and
He probably sucked off a lot of Academy members too to get those
no,
votes.
hey,
So,
you can listen back to the Dollar Reviews episode when we both saw it. Like, yeah, I legitimately think it's a great role. I'm not one of the people that are backlashing.
it's not
on
a
it.
great role. It's a great performance.
Yeah, no, I think there's a lot more there to that than you're giving it credit for.
It's a tour de force and
I
what you
I,
can
I
push
don't
your
I don't think
body
it's
to
just a
do.
physical performance. I think there's a lot more
I
that
think
comes
it
through
is.
with. Yeah, I mean, no,
What,
that's a
in his
big part of
eyes?
it. There's a lot that's being expressed through that. It's not just going out there in the cold and struggling to fucking move forward in front of a camera.
The word of mouth on that movie was, "Oh my God, you'll never believe what Leo does in this thing. He eats raw bison liver." That's how it was marketed. It wasn't, "Oh, this the story here about the frontier and revenge is so good. You got to see it to believe it."
Yeah,
It's
and
not that
and
movie.
I honestly that I you know I fucking don't pay attention to that shit. I just take the movie for what it's doing, and like, I mean, yeah, I looked at that as a character that was going through that shit. I did not fucking think like, oh my god, Leo is getting inside a fucking horse just to keep warm.
I still think if he really truly wanted the Oscar, they should have shown him naked, just to make it more real.
Fuck it, hey, whatever. It's the movie ended up
The
being
Oscar
great.
statuette is naked. He should have been naked. The whole world could have got what they wanted at the same
Honestly,
time. You would have won an
I
Oscar
really
and
hate
been naked on
I
screen.
really hope that just for the sake of that movie, I know that it's not going to be one of those Oscar
Nope.
nominated movies that are going to get like much. It's
Nope.
not going to be that well regarded. But honestly, I think that sucks if it's just going to be remembered as that movie that Leo won the Oscar for. Like it's better than that. It really
It
is.
maybe.
We've talked about this at length. You can
I
go
mean,
listen to that episode. It was in my top 10. It was a
you're
great
never
movie.
gonna have the same viewing experience because you're never gonna see it on a screen that big
No,
again.
no, and I don't mind that. Like, just
No, I take that
it's
back. There
like
might be
it's
some
one.
revival theater in 20 years,
Yeah,
but
no, but I think it is a great movie, but it's one of those great movies that stays with you that I don't think I need to see again. Like, I've said that before. I don't think
yeah, it's a Terrence
rewatchability
Malick.
is not just a sign of a great movie. It's like I mean, I will remember the experience that I had with The Revenant, and to preserve that, I don't think I want to go through that again.
No, yeah, I'm with you,
Yeah,
but not for those reasons. But yeah, like, I've had those
yeah,
experiences. Like the first time I saw Sin Paradiso, I had no interest in seeing it anytime soon. Sadly, I had to.
yeah. I
Um,
mean, honestly,
yeah,
like The
I
Hateful
agree.
Eight is that for me. But if there's another 70 millimeter screening, then yeah, that will be the way that I see it again. But I don't
So,
imagine I'll see that without an intermission or without that theatrical experience.
you guys aren't frequent listeners of our show. Those are my two least favorite westerns of 2015. That's not fair. I take that
Yeah, I
back.
know.
I like
Ridiculous
slow
Six, man.
west more.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Slow
No,
West is one of my least liked. I think it is my
yeah.
least liked actually. Yeah.
Like as much as I was kind of indifferent on Bone Tomahawk in comparison to the others from last year, it is higher up on the food chain. Just for it is also a visceral movie,
Mhm.
just in a more traditional sense. Man, that wishbone scene is kick ass.
I gotta see it.
Um, you do got to see
Amazon
it.
Prime.
Do it before they take it off.
What?
And speaking of Amazon and Amazon movies and Transparent, their grandchild, their golden
Hmm.
goose. Creator Jill Soloway is going to be co-writing and directing 10 Acre Wood at Amazon Studios. It's being filmed, I mean, it's being billed as a coming of age story that centers on a woman falling. Yeah, sorry, let me backtrack. It's being billed as a coming of age story that centers on a woman in a failing marriage who leaves Los Angeles to move to a pot farm in Northern California. So this is a big trend. We talked not too long ago about Kevin Smith's pilot at a weed shop, and
Hmm.
Margaret Cho has a pot dispensary show, I think, also at Amazon, or that could have been at Netflix, and a couple other things, all because of the legalization that's happening across the country,
Yeah.
and also weeds. Um, yeah, I don't know what to think about this one. I'm gonna check it out for
I
sure.
think mainly just
I am a member.
she's getting work with Amazon. I mean, this is the second
Yeah,
time that you're bringing her up.
yeah, she's directing
Yeah,
a
so
pilot right.
she's working real closely with them, aside from just Transparent.
It makes
Yeah,
sense. I mean, Woody Allen's doing the show, they're doing his movie, and I'm sure there's going to be more returns on talent there in the same way, David Fincher earlier in the show, back again at
yes. I
Netflix.
mean, it just shows
Um,
that Amazon's a good place to work with for creators of content because they're
well,
able to
maybe.
keep people around. I mean, that's the impression that you get if you're gonna stick with studio or yeah, Amazon Studios in this case. I mean, that's a good home to make your stuff, and you got good connections there. I mean, that's good.
I read a Jason Blum interview earlier today, in fact, that was basically to that effect. I think it was from THR, it could have been Variety, and they were asking him, like, where's horror now, South by Southwest, whatever. And all he could say, and what he was proudest about, wasn't necessarily that his films, have good grossing numbers and that some of the
Hmm.
groundbreaking micro budget filmmaking, but rather that he's able to attract filmmakers time and time
Yeah,
again
like M.
on
Night is working
projects.
with him again.
Well, not just M Night, but Ty West
Hmm.
and earlier we're talking about Oculus. That director's doing Hush. Um, who else? Yeah, Duplass brothers. I can't even think of
Yeah, it's
everybody,
about building
but
connections and having good
they
working relationships, and that's I mean that's
Ethan Hawke has been in three of his films,
yeah,
so
yeah.
he clearly has a way not just in the industry but also with people. And so it's like you said, Amazon. If you can have that in today's Hollywood, it's great. And the article before the interview was talking about it was a different article actually, but and we've brought this up before too, how like Rat Pack Dune is with Warner Brothers or what we call it, like George Clooney with not Universal with Paramount, J.J. Abrams with
Hmm.
Paramount, with J.J. with Disney. How these filmmakers, it's kind of like the modern day contract, where they're not tied there, but because they have such a good working relationship, Zack Snyder or Ben Affleck at Warner
Or
Brothers,
Christopher
that they just
Nolan. I
kind of
mean,
want
yeah,
to.
like this isn't
Well,
exactly
he moved
new.
around lately,
I'm
but
I'm
yeah,
just saying
it's.
like that's just for Amazon specifically. Like I'm saying that's a good thing. I mean, yeah, it's good to have
Mhm.
working relationships. I mean, that's how a lot of the best content is made is when people are on the same page of what it should be. As opposed to
Yeah.
having constantly clashing and trying to make different things out of it.
When the money
Yeah,
can really get along with the talent and
exactly.
they start
Yeah.
there's a trust level there that you're willing to take those risks, like Inception or The
Hmm.
Prestige, when or like it's a Steven Soderbergh of one for me, one for them, one for me, one for
Yeah.
them. And if you have that connection, you can try these things. So maybe that's what Jill Soloway is going to be doing here, but I highly doubt it. In the piece I read about this, is apparently going to be taking from her life in much in the same way that Transparent does. She does have a transparent. Um, so yeah. Last movie thing we got here, Lionsgate. They're joining the whole calendar thing. They're pushing a movie back. This one's actually something that I'm interested in, and I'm happy about this change. Damien Chazelle's La La Land has just moved from July 15th to December 16th, so it's getting a prime Oscar season date.
Exactly.
And this is really interesting because if you don't remember what this film's about, it is a Ryan Gosling, Emma Stone, modern Hollywood musical. So yes, I definitely am going to go see this
You're
one.
glad that it's coming back.
I'm not a musical fan,
No, but
but
I mean, you talked
I
about it
want
like
to see them
and
together.
you talked about like all that jazz, like that was part of your intro. Is that yeah, that was like Hollywood's golden child, and it like just to have
Mhm.
that revived. I would imagine you're somewhat excited about that.
Well, I mean, I'm more excited about the film noir and the murder mystery coming back because that's shown that there's multiples being made in the same way that the Western was a big hit this past year, with the Good Dinosaur even.
Hmm. Oh yeah,
I think that this is just a limited taste because yeah, Channing Tatum and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, they have their musical in the works too, and technically every Disney movie is a musical. Um, but the big productions in Hollywood, those don't exactly exist. But yeah, when you got talent like this, this is the guy that directed Whiplash, and also did some rewrites on 10 Cloverfield Lane, which someone needs to find out what he actually contributed to that
well,
script.
because the script was
Uh,
originally The Cellar, and it didn't have
yeah.
any Cloverfield elements in there. So I'm guessing that that's what his rewrite mainly consisted of.
Well, I don't think he has any experience doing supernatural stuff though, so I don't.
Well, no, but I mean,
Maybe I think he just came in to doctor the tension stuff,
but
like
he was
the
definitely
dinner
by the
table
time that they
thing.
were changing that, he was one of the guys involved. So that and there's still
It's a
by the
possibility, yeah.
time that you introduce that element in there, yeah, there is tension just with the what's outside of the bunker itself. So yeah, I mean, yeah, he's proven that he can handle sci-fi to some extent just with that. He's got the credit that he can at least say that he was. We don't know. We'll find out more over time, I guess.
But yeah, I definitely want to see this La La Land. Like I was getting at, Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling, they
Yeah,
have great chemistry. I wasn't a fan of what was the name of
Gangster
that
Squad.
movie? Well, no, not that
Oh,
one. That was
Crazy
bad.
Stupid Love.
Yeah,
That's a good
I
movie, man.
wasn't. It was way too long for
Oh.
me, and I saw where it was coming like a mile away. Like when I saw the trailer, I knew it was going to happen. It was one of
See,
those.
I did not
Um,
because I'm stupid and don't know these things. Yeah.
I would. I don't think that's what it was. Like I surprised the person I
Except for
saw it with
Daredevil,
super.
in which case, yes, I knew beat for beat when certain things were going to happen. Yeah.
Oh, good
Yeah,
for
no,
you. You were able to
okay,
break
not
down,
beat for beat, but there were
analyze a
moments like,
comic
oh
book
my god, is
adaptation.
this going to? This better not fucking be a moment where a character just wakes up from a horrible thing that's about to happen. Oh, what a twist! Oh, it was just a dream or a nightmare. Oh, okay, okay.
Okay,
Fuck you,
sir. Well,
show. Yeah,
tell you
little
what,
things like
finish
that.
one of your scripts and post it on the internet, and let the
I will
people
not post
of
it
the
on the
web.
internet. I'll be very, very protective about it and not show it to anybody. And then when someone else steals the idea, I will fucking cry myself to sleep.
Okay, or you could just post it on the internet. I mean,
No,
if you were as good as Max Landis, Netflix would be fighting for your script with the $80 million
that's
check.
you assuming that I'm any good.
Well, you got five scripts
I got
in
five. I
development
got
right
five
now.
that I'm working on, and it's
That's
probably
four more than
yeah, but
me.
it's probably not a good working method. It's just I have to bounce. If I find that like if I obsess too much over one thing, then I'm putting way much too much unnecessary pressure on myself. Especially when I hit that block of shit, I don't know what to write or how to write right now. But then like when you're creating, you have more than one idea going, so I kind of just jump back and forth, and they're all in the vomit draft phase. So that that's probably not good, and drastic changes happen. But anyway, this show is not Steven writes five scripts. This is Two Cents, where we try to talk about other things, and we still have what like five things on the docket right now.
Three,
Three.
and they're mostly unimportant. So yeah, that was all the movie news we got. Here's some tech stuff. Like I said, usually tech's a big thing, or at least VR, but it was more consolidated, more streamlined this week. So we were just talking about calendar dates. Here's another one you might want to write down. It's right around the corner. The new iPhone and iPad event that Apple's doing is on March 21st, which is ironically the day before they have to go to court in terms of the San Bernardino trial. So what's expected is an iPhone 5 sized. It's going to be called like the 5C. Basically, it's going to have the internals of the 6S, but in a 5 size and body. But with Touch ID, with the new camera, with all that shit. Also, they might be showing off a Microsoft Surface competitor and new Apple Watch doodads. It'd be really cool if they showed some VR stuff. I highly doubt it because it's fucking Apple. Like, it'd be cool if they showed off an Apple TV with 4K. So we'll
We'll
see.
see. I mean, because they still, after the announcement of their new tech last year, yeah, they really dropped the ball on that. So
Well, I
we'll
mean,
see if
this
they're
is
even
their
up there resolution wise.
this is their small event. The March one's usually just a refresh of what's already out there, and then
Sort of what a tease of
September's
what's
the
coming.
actual one. No, it's
No?
just they have they just have two different events every year. This is the small like specific thing for what's basically already made and it's going to be improved. Like, oh, here's a new shell for the laptop, whereas September is here's the brand new iPhone. Here's Apple Radio. Here's that's their look at us. We can do it. It's almost quarter four. We're gonna blow your pants off type
All
thing.
right, got you.
So I talk about Apple for a second. Got to talk about Google. You know what 4chan is, right?
Yeah, I never use it,
Okay,
but yeah, I'm familiar.
familiar
Yeah.
with it. Moot, the guy that created the website, who doesn't work there anymore. He quote unquote retired um, about a year ago. He just got hired by Google. So who knows what he's gonna be doing? My guess is that he's gonna try to fix Google Plus or implement like a better comment system on YouTube or something to try to get the Google community in line because it really is a cancer. It's a shame that despite being really good with data and analytics and finding things that they're not able to find an audience that can act decent. But then again, maybe it's just like a Google Play Store community too. Like you can talk about common interests. It could be a lot of things. I really do hope though that it is a message board type thing since that's what he has experience with. And I don't know. I can't really picture anything else.
I'll take your word for it because yeah, I mean, I don't use 4chan and I don't fucking use comment threads or message boards really. Like I just have no interest in them. So I mean, but yeah, no, I'll that does make sense. It sounds like.
Maybe they're planning the Fappening 2.0, and he's gonna be behind the scenes at Google. But yeah, last thing we got here doesn't really fit anywhere, so that's why it's last. But it is interesting, so I thought it was something to go out on. We talked about Amazon a lot on the show. Their new movies that they're working on, some TV stuff, new tech VR and things of that nature. The 90-day release window in theaters. But not a lot of people, still talk about their actual business, which is getting things to people. we were, talking along with the internet how they're opening up to like 300 new brick and mortar stores. Well, that's already kind of been proven. Last week it was announced that San Diego's getting the second physical location for their Amazon storefront. But this is really cool. They're about to lease 20 Boeing 767 planes for the rumored cargo freight service. And if that wasn't cool enough, Bloomberg also believes that they're lining up a parcel carrier service to compete with UPS and FedEx. So they're looking to deliver thanks to you regardless of what not only continent you're on, but country. They obviously have their drones in the like in the running, VR. Like you
Hmm.
can already get Google Now, Prime Now a couple hours after you deliver. And like on top of this week they announced that you can like do international shipping on video games. So that's a huge thing in terms of the import market for like Japanese releases. So I can't wait for this. Like, can you imagine they remake Castaway, except instead of being a FedEx plane, it's an Amazon one, and he lands in the Amazon.
I mean, yeah,
Uh,
it's.
He's got Amazon.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. It seems like, yeah, this is like kind of their way of just, well, it's kind of the death of FedEx or UPS in the long run. I don't know. It
There
seems
can only be
like,
one.
yeah, they just don't want to pay those companies to send their stuff out. Like, I don't know what this is going to mean for the post office. Like, because Amazon's basically the
Well,
only
that's
thing keeping it around. But
post office run by the government, so it can't go under.
yeah, well,
Uh, but I mean, maybe FedEx and UPS will have to merge, and then what you'd have Fed Up. Can't give him credit for that. That's from EdTV, Matthew
no,
McConaughey
no, yeah,
film. You should check that one out. Yeah.
death to cinema.
No, I saw that not too long ago. Not one of Ron Howard's best films, but it is interesting because it really did. It was interesting commentary that like predated the reality TV craze, and it holds up as pretty interesting. It has some really good things to say
I might,
about where we went with things like The Bachelor and stuff of that
I don't know.
nature.
I might pick it. Who knows?
It has a good cast too. It's
Yeah.
like Ellen's on it, and Woody Harrelson, and what's her name from Dharma and Greg, a couple other people. Like Clint Howard's in it, and like an extended role, like bigger than he ever gets in his brother's movies. But yeah, the natural thing here, which I think I read this on The Verge, was that if they have their own planes, they no longer and their own parcel carrier service for that matter, they'll have more autonomy, which would lead to less likely in delays, and they'd be more accountable for shipping. Because you
Yeah.
ever try to get something that's normally through Prime, it's like, oh, it's going to take 15 days to get it.
Yeah, because it
Well,
really depends on
that
where it's shipping
that's
from or whether they have
Mhm.
enough. Like, yeah,
Exactly. And so if they have these cargo planes, they're like, hey, why don't you just ship that from us from our Brazil headquarters or whatever? Like you'll have like international stockpile markets. You've seen that meme online where it's like the Indiana Jones warehouse is actually at Amazon headquarters, not headquarters, but like a shipping facility.
I have not, but that's funny actually.
Now you have to find that video. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Like it shows the shot and like it zooms out, and it's like Amazon. Um, Arcade Covenant, Gold Box Deal of the Day, literally. That's all I got. That's the show.
That's it. All
Yeah,
right.
I mean it's not 2 hours. What more could they
Yeah.
want? You can find us all over the web. We said at the top of the show, iTunes. I'm gonna put us back up on SoundCloud, kind of.
You still gotta
YouTube,
focus on
TuneIn,
YouTube, man.
Stitcher.
Like you're way behind on that. Or
I'm
so
I'm in
you
the
tell me.
process. Like no one listens to our shit on YouTube. We average like 2 or 3
Hey,
listens,
but
or I guess
it's about
plays.
longevity, you know. I mean, you can at least, if someone ever feels like typing, "Oh, did someone do a review of The Gray?" Then we have that, and you can say on a descriptor, "Hey, we're endorsed by Joe Carnahan, and he told Frank Grillo to listen to it."
And he liked the tweet.
Yeah,
Yay,
hell
we
yeah.
got someone in the Marvel
I
universe.
framed that tweet
That
before
did you
before I
really
left. Yeah, it's sitting back in California on the wall. Like I that's fucking ridiculous, but dude, that really did.
tell the truth? Did you jerk off to that thought?
No, because I'm not fucking weird like that. What is wrong with you?
You framed a
I did.
tweet. What are you talking about?
Well, why would I jerk off to?
You you printed out a piece of the
I
internet
know
and put it on
because I
the
had a
wall.
picture frame. I was like, I should do something with it, but like that was on my mind before I even got it. But honestly, that did fucking mean the world to me. Even if he fucking just. Oh
He's
hey, someone
joking.
just favorited one of my tweets that yeah, wow, funny, the 10 Cloverfield Lane one that just literally just popped out right now while I'm talking about Twitter. No, that really did fucking mean the world to me. Just that he fucking listened to something like having a conversation, and that it was worth his fucking time, and that he recommended to a fucking co-star in the movie to listen to it. Like, really, that really fucking meant a lot. I thought that was awesome.
As you can tell, Steve is excited. Some would
Oh,
say
come on, no,
excited
come
enough to
on,
jerk off to a Twitter
seriously,
picture.
no, Jesus, it's
so
got
you,
nothing
you
to do
can
with touching genitalia. I mean, no, seriously, don't you
you
think that's
can
fucking
you can
awesome? Like
find
that,
us.
yeah, that you and I
Yes,
talked,
I did have
and
my
that someone
fanboy
fucking
moment on
listened. I mean,
Twitter.
that's insane to me. That even just for fucking 25 minutes on this fucking planet, Joe Carnahan listened to something that I said about his movie and said it was worth the time, and fucking responded back just about that post credit sequence that which I can respect that if he
Hey,
did it for him, even though I still don't think it should have been there. But
I really hope he listened to that right there. Maybe I'll just send him that 5 seconds so he can spit in your face.
you,
Like, I
you
can't believe he didn't jerk off to me. Shit.
or he might just agree, yeah, you're fucking weird, Brian. Why would I do that?
He made a movie about a wolf
Uh-huh.
puncher.
Why would I jerk off to that? What is sexually stimulating about that?
It's a self-fulfillment.
Just
It's
stop.
pleasing.
Just stop.
It's ego stroking. Is that what you're doing right? You're stroking your ego.
Yeah, that doesn't work by physically touching your dick in order to do that. Yeah, what is the matter with you? You can find me on Twitter at s
You can find us all
underscore
over the internet.
mt and at yeah s underscore mtx. Same thing with Letterbox, which I've been less active on lately. Yeah, I haven't
Same.
been watching that many movies. We've been busy.
I'm busy.
Yeah.
It isn't all fun and
No,
games
but
doing
that's why we do
podcasts.
this show, to keep ourselves focused on entertainment. I probably would not have stuck with Daredevil if it wasn't for this show, so I could try talking about it. Fuck, I really want season 2 to be better. I really do. Fuck, that first season really did. Well, we'll get into that tomorrow, you and I.
No, you got into it quite
It's
enough. And
it's
why the
on my
fuck would we
mind.
get in it?
It's
Why
it's
would
on
we
my
be
mind
getting
because I
into
literally,
it tomorrow?
well,
There is no doll. There isn't any Daredevil season 1 episode
no. Are
going
we
up
gonna review
six
season 2
months
though?
after it's on air.
Are we gonna review season 2?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm pretty sure I will mention it during,
I don't
especially
know
when
why you
comparing it.
would.
I mean, yeah, no, there are obvious parallels in there between the show and the movie where I'm just like, how the fuck is this
There's
movie
only
making
so
it
much
so much better?
mythology. There's only so much mythology to a comic book character.
It concludes the same way, except, well,
And again,
it,
the the entire budget for the whole series on Netflix was less than the
yeah,
Daredevil
I know,
film.
but I mean,
So
I know I probably, that's my fault that I should have expected something to be on TV, but that's also a thing where I'm like, I rather would see an R-rated movie of this,
Jessica
honestly.
Jones doesn't even have a fucking
Fucking.
costume.
By
Okay.
the way, how is it that the show feels way tamer than the fucking movie? That we'll get into that later. Fuck. Yeah, no, I was way more interested though in those first 2 episodes of Jessica Jones that I saw, and I got to continue that for sure.
Different show.
Very different.
Yeah, you can ignore all that. You can find us on the internet. Said at the top. I'll say it again. Dollarviews.net. One stop shop. YouTube. TuneIn. iTunes. Stitcher. YouTube. Kinda. SoundCloud. Kinda.
Hmm.
Facebook and Twitter and all that jazz. And also check out Nanin Kulo when you're at it. Have a good one.
See you next week.